And a very good afternoon to you right across the Riverland and Mallee on 5RM. This is Riverland Football League Grand Final Day 2023. Lockie Windle's my name. Alongside me is Nobby Norton and Ben Lennon, as always, in the 5RM commentary team. Nobby and Ben, good afternoon to both of you.
Afternoon, mate. How you going? Good? You're up? I can tell you're up and about.
Yep, I can see you. Hello, everyone. Hello, Lockie. Hello, Ben. Hello, everyone. Hey, big game.
Oh, it certainly is. Now, let's just paint the picture. Waikerie is where we are today for the Riverland Football League Grand Final, and it is an absolute picture, isn't that right, Nobby Norton?
Yes, it certainly is, Lockie. Just had, as you know, I've just made it to the central commentary position in the last couple of minutes because I've been down doing a bit of a ground check. Well, didn't stick the keys into the centre circle, but had a good look around, and the Oval's looking a picture. Hey, great crowd. Thought that, Ben, that before the game that with Barmera and Monash and Renmark providing all the teams just about, except for the previous game we've just seen, thought that might have been to the crowd's detriment, but I think it's the opposite. I think those that have come for the junior games from both those teams are staying to the grand final. Yeah,
well, that's it. I think last year we had every club in action, I'm pretty sure, across the day, and it was a great crowd out at Barmera. But, yeah, it sort of worked the other way today.
Yeah.
It's a couple of pockets of blue, different shades. But, the Roo crew's been in full voice, and the Rovers faithful are out in force as well. So, and like you said, Lockie, mate, it's a cracking day out there. One for the sunscreen enthusiasts, I think. I'm looking a little bit red at the moment.
I didn't bring a hat either, boys.
Reserves just wrapping up and the presentations taking place, and a solid win to the Waikerie Magpies.
Yeah, one goal, just made it.
Reasonably close, 8-7-55 to the Loxton Tigers, 7-7-49. Just quickly on that one, Ben, the Loxton Tigers really have been the form side in the reserves this year, and some would say probably a little bit unlucky there in the finals.
Yeah, well, I mean, they came out breathing fire last week against Renmark. Talon Eagle kicked 7, and the boys are up and about. I thought they might just carry that through to today after going down to Waikerie a couple of weeks ago. But, yeah, the Magpies on their home deck. You love to see the home supporters charge onto the Oval after a win in a close game. The Tigers sort of left their surge a little bit late in that last quarter and couldn't quite get over the line. So congrats to the Maggies. They've got a pretty stacked team, it must be said. A lot of A-grade.
A lot of former A-graders, and it was a pretty good seconds comp anyway, because I thought the top four sides, were going okay. But these two ended up getting to today, and Waikerie have won the prize. When you say former A-graders, former A-grade players, they're stacked with some experienced blokes, which is probably a good thing to see, that their A-grade side brought through a lot of young guys. They've been almost the youngest A-grade side in the comp, I reckon, Waikerie.
It'd be between them and Barmera and Barry. Got a lot of kids as well out of necessity. But, yeah, the way they've blooded through, a number of sort of younger guys through Mick Kilsby's coaching this year as well has been a bit of a feature, and they still made the finals as well.
Yeah, and Loxton... and they played to make the finals in the A-grade, which is why Nathan Flight and Raph Little were ineligible to play in the twos, where they probably played most or more than half their footy during the season, but had come up to do the right thing by the club. And
absolutely.
Look, that's to be commended too, I think, Ben. Yeah,
because it would have been potentially an easier option to say, I want to go down to the twos and potentially kick a bit of a bag and roll into the finals with a bit of momentum, but A-grade comes first, I guess, which is a good decision to make.
Yep, but a great game of footy for the crowd that here as a curtain raiser for the next one, the main event. And, gee whiz, almost no changes to both sides. I think Barmera are looking like they're unchanged from the prelim final, Ben.
Yeah, so Barmera unchanged from last week's game, win over Loxton North and Renmark. Just the one change, I believe. Liam Jackson comes out, did his shoulder in the twos last week, and Nathan Zunic has recovered from his shoulder injury.
So we'd say a forced change, although we always thought that Zunic would be back in anyway.
Yeah, if he was fit and ready to go, which apparently he is, you were never going to leave him out, I think.
No, and tough luck for Liam Jackson, who, whilst probably didn't play a lot of A-grade during the season, gee whiz, the few games he played in at the end, he was the X factor for them in the forward line.
Yeah, he made a difference, but he's still up and about today. Don't worry about that. He's chief vibes officer, he tells me, so he's going to get the boys up and about, whether he's on the park or not.
Yeah, and just quickly, the reserves obviously just wrapping up as we speak, but let's go a bit earlier. So the under-18s, it was the Barmera Monash Roos, 9-7-61 to the Renmark Rovers, 58-38. Before that, the under-15s, a solid win to Renmark, the form side all year, 10-10-70 to the Barmera Monash Roos, 3-6-24. And the under-13s started things off very early. Ben, you were at this game bright and early. Where we were doing Sports Saturday for the Big River Tavern and Berry Hotel, but you took one for the team and were here, front and centre. Recap as the action that was, the under-13s.
Oh, Renmark, so a bit of context, Barmera came into it having not lost a game in about 2 years, I think, in that 13s team, and Renmark actually got the jump on them, led for most of the day. Barmera stole the lead back in the last quarter, then Renmark kicked the goal and they went in front. They're up by a point. And then the umpires paid a free kick for holding the ball against Renmark in the forward pocket for Barmera. As he's given the holding the ball signal, siren goes. I think it was Cooper Klingbill, I think, that had the shot on goal from, I'd say, about 25 metres out on the fair angle. But, yeah, he got to live every kid's dream. Kick after the siren, the winner granny. He goes back, slots the goal, and the Rook Crew go bananas. So, it was fantastic.
So, a final score there. It was Barmera Monash 4-5-29 to Loxton, to Barmera Monash 3-6-24. The B-grade presentations in the final stages, both the Renmark Rovers and Barmera Monash Roos now in their final bit of their warm-up for the game. The siren sounding to indicate that we are getting very close to the start of the game. The Renmark Rovers, is there a favourite in this or not?
I think there is, and the favourite is the number 1 seeded Renmark Rovers, just ahead of the number 2 seeded Barmera Monash Kangaroos. I think you can't fault Barmera Monash as a team, Renmark as a team. Minimal changes, as we've just talked, have been building towards this since starting off 2 games behind everyone else earlier in the season. But in saying that, I think they start favourites for me, and on the back of 3 Willis medalists now in the squad, the Wolford boys, 3 medalists with four medals
between them. Yeah, you got there. Yeah, absolutely.
I did. But Barmera, they've been building, Ben.
Yeah, they have. It's a funny one that the team that didn't necessarily finish top or have a week off or anything like that, they're going to come in with probably more momentum than the Rovers.
Yes.
The Roos, they've played a really good month or so of footy. Their defensive structure, we've talked about it all year, but it's more just the pressure that they're applying. Last week they didn't let North go through the corridor at all, really restricted them, and they'll come in with their tails up today. Renmark refreshed after a week off, but does that always work in your favour, or if you're playing good footy, do you want to just keep rolling on?
I think at the end of the day, all you want to do is be here today.
Yeah, that's it.
And it doesn't really matter how you got there to an extent, as long as you come in fit as a fiddle, all your players, and it looks like both teams are at full strength, I'd say, which is good, which is what we want to see. About to have the national anthem here. Lockie, you're still here with us. What's going on? I thought you were going to...
Yeah, look, unable to get the singing gig this year, but looking forward to the national anthem being performed here today. We have the Renmark Rovers and Barmera Monash Roos both lining up on the field. The reserves now, the victorious Waikerie Magpies, pretty happy with their little win there in the reserves this year.
Winning a seconds premiership it's all you need sometimes.
And a home grand final as well, so certainly a phenomenal effort. And the Loxton Tigers will just think about the season that was unfortunately there. But credit goes to Loxton, still push for that A-grade spot. And, could have been pretty easy to go for the seconds there at about, round 12, 13, something like that. But you got to give the Tigers a bit of credit there. That's a given. Look, it is a big day. Our usual awards, the goal of the day, mark of the day, best on ground. And we'll just pause the national anthem. There it is. The countdown to the grand final is now in the final stages. Both sides taking their positions after what has been a big day at Waikerie so far, and we are gearing up for what's going to be a big grand final. The Barmera Monash Roos, somewhat of the surprise packet early in the season, Nobby, but they've earned their spot in this grand final. We've seen them a few times this year, and we cannot wait for this grand final.
Yeah, absolutely, fellas, and built their season on the back of a pretty mean defence from early in the year. and as they've got nearer towards the business end, have developed their attack to a little bit more. And we saw that last week in the prelim when we saw SDM actually start to get ahead of it on the scoreboard. And I think the big difference, Ben, has been Mitch Wellington into that side as a tool. And whilst he hasn't hit the scoreboard, he's provided them with an avenue forward, a taller avenue. But he'll have his work cut out today against a couple of the taller defenders in Anspach and Rover from Renmark. Although, in saying that, it may just put a bit more pressure on the Renmark defence to not allow them those easy outs.
Yeah, that's right, and that's going to be the big question. Can Barmera score enough? That's what we've been asking all year, and they've shown that, they can definitely score enough to get into the grand final. So, yeah, Wellington good last week. Like you said, just another sort of target up forward. Reece Lehman's carried a pretty heavy load this year, and Wellington came in last week, took a heap of strong marks, and he brings other guys into the game like your Di Michelle and Wesley and guys like that are going to crumb and hit the contest. So, yeah, it's another thing for the Renmark back six to think about. Brodie Rover's had a fantastic year. He probably gets that match up. He's definitely fit enough to go with him. But yeah, they probably need a bit of height to stretch that Renmark back line, because they're not exactly. Rover's probably the tallest one they've got there. The rest are sort of your mid-sizes. So
absolutely, and I think looking at the Renmark side, they've been strong in the middle and strong off half back, and you start looking through their side, and obviously all experienced Premiership players, none more so than Matt Woolford, who seems to be able to run around anywhere on the field and go wherever he likes and get kicks at will. Yeah. But in the centre bounce clearances, obviously Waikerie, who we talk about every week, is, without doubt, the best ruckman in country South Australian football, and he proved that by making the SA country side.
Yep.
Played very well. But you start looking at some of his cohorts in the middle, and you look at Tim Woolford, who does a lot of the grunt work, and coach Josh Vader, who always hits the contest at top speed. And so that's the normal program for them. So we've got to see what Jake Smith, Ben Drugamuller, and a couple of those guys in the middle from Barmera Monash can do to stop that dominance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You've got Butterworth. He's probably the main one for the Roos, where he finds a lot of space and tends to get free. So whether Renmark look to run someone with him, but he's fit.
Yeah, he'll be sweeping off half back and maybe push Sampson up to the wing where he can give him a little bit more drive.
That's the thing about this Barmera Monash team. They're pretty versatile, but same could be said about Renmark. And players heading out to the middle now. A few handshakes going around. We're about to crack in, Lockie.
Yeah, so the middle guys, it looks like Wellington starting in the middle. We've got Jake Smith, Jamison Whitbourne also in the middle there, and Butterworth for the Barmera Monash Roos. Who have Renmark got in there, Ben?
They've got Timmy Woolford, Josh Vader, and Lockie Lellman. The X Factor is in the guts.
Along with Waikerie. No surprises there, hey?
No, none at all.
The siren about to sound. Umpire Todd Chull. There it is. The 2023 grand final underway. Ball up in the air. It's Waikerie that takes the tap, gets the move, and Vader clearance. The Renmark Rovers go on the attack in the first 10 seconds of the game. Now deep in attack for the Rovers. The ball spills out to the scoreboard side. Hot footy, and the Barmera Monash Roos clear it out. And it's found at the 15 of Butterworth from the half-back flank. And the Barmera Monash Roos, calm as you like. It's as if nothing's happened. Ben Lennon.
Oh, mate, if you could have scripted the perfect centre clearance to keep things off. Waikerie over the back to Vader. I reckon we've seen that 100,000 times this year. But the Roos have the footy now through Jake Smith, so he's got it just outside.
He's had a good final series, Ben.
He was influential last week. Just chipping the ball around, though, looking to find a clear entrance. I think it's SDM with the footy, goes inboard. Waikerie and Woolford are there to clean up for the Rovers. That's Dan Woolford with the footy now. He's wrapped up pretty quickly, so we're going to have a ball up about 40 metres out from Barmera goal.
And this is what Barmera have to do. Put that pressure on across their half.
Ground last week, picks up, tackled. Umpire says... umpire's dropped the whistle. Right, he's back on again. Barmera got the free. Yeah, okay, there was a sling tackle.
Yeah, Petrole's purple patch continues, boys.
Nobby, I cut you off before. Which way are the Roos kicking to?
Roos going to the town end and Renmark to the river end.
Great intercept mark from the Renmark Rovers as they clear it out. The 21 of Dan Woolford, Willis medalist this week. 5RM football. It is the grand final thanks to Australian Motors Riverland. In the back pocket, decides to play on. Now ball up to centre wing. Can someone take a mark? Big punch forward. And the Barmera Monash Roos go on the attack again. Good pick from Michael Mock, but it's now in the 50, and we've got a mark.
Ben, another chaos ball in from Barmera Monash.
Might be
that's Wilden.
Could be the recipe today.
And Wilden gets he's about to take the shot. What do you think of his chances, Ben?
Yeah, what was he, about 35 metres out? He's probably going to kick from slide angle. Look, you always want to get on the board first, so I'll back the boy in, absolutely.
Important for Barmera Monash that they do put a bit of scoreboard pressure on Renmark.
Yeah, particularly early. They need to be in this as long as they can and just batten down the hatches later. So, big kick for Matty Wilden here. It's on the way. Drop punt looks pretty good. And he's up and about, and so are the Roo crew. Barmera, first blood.
I'll tell you the other thing about early scores for Barmera Monash. Pressure on Renmark that they probably haven't had a lot of this year. Maybe Loxton North, when they beat them, put pressure on them on the scoreboard, but that wasn't early. That was a bit later in the game. So, look, I tell you what, if Barmera Monash are going to be any chance of winning today, they're starting the correct way by putting scoreboard pressure on the defending Premier.
Yep, and Wilden, the clubhouse leader of the Surf to Suit Loxton goal of the day.
Could be mark of the day as well.
Mark of the day for Grower Services Riverland. If you're hearing a little bit of Neil Diamond underneath, that's the theme song of the Waikerie Magpies Reserves. They're having a good time downstairs. Ball back in the centre. Gartry gets the tap. Good clearance from Wolford and Vader, but Vader's tackle, smothered rather. Another tackle again. There's Wolford, tries to pick up the ball. And now Lellman gets a kick away while he was tackled, but this is going to be marked. Courageous mark there.
Now
Fraser Sampson, I reckon, on halfback.
That is the mark of the day contender as it is.
Yep, that one for Grower Services. Yep. Riverland, Frankie the coach, kicks to Wellington. So the Roos looking to build up through some short kicks here.
Gee, that centre bounce again. This time it was Wolford who took the ball on the run.
Yeah, it's good signs early, but the Roos have held firm. Sullivan now with the footy. Nice spoil. Got a bit of time. Dane Austin's harassing him though, and Sullivan shanks the kick.
Tried to be a little bit too cute with that one.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the smartest move when you got big Dane Austin running at you.
No, particularly when the chaos ball worked the previous entry.
Dan Wolford, kick over the top to Roy. Wolford got it back, now drives it up to half forward, but Wellington from Barmera Monash got his hands on it first, unable to mark it, but still gets the kick away. Ball now in the centre square. Bit of a chaos ball. Mitch Jenke tried to get his hands on it. And now Tim Wolford, beautiful clearance into the 50. Can Renmark make something of this? Umpire's seen something. And I reckon the Rovers are going to get a free.
That was there.
Chop of the arms against Dylan Millard, I think. So it's big Smoky Haynes. Alex Haynes going back to have a shot on goal here. Probably about the same spot as Wilden for the Roos. So 40 metres out. He's definitely got the journey.
Not a puffer breeze here today, fellas. It is a beautiful Riverland spring day.
This is 5RM football, the 2023 Grand Final for Australian Motors Riverland. Alex Haynes, the number 35.
Look, Tim Wolford, a couple of really telling possessions earlier.
All on the way, and he's
shanked it.
Hooked it.
Big outswinger.
Yep.
And Ben Hilfenhaus would have been proud of that. But that has gone through to the slips, and it's a minor score.
It's almost cricket season. I can feel it. It's good.
Just about.
I reckon it's cricket season 24/7, 365, boys. Are playing somewhere.
The Roos go on the kick out. Dan Wolford got his hands on it. He's been paid he's been given a free kick on half forward from the Rovers.
Wore a bit of contact there, Dan, but never one to shake the contest.
See, Barmera have started with a fair bit of willingness, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. A lot of bodies being thrown around here. So Dan Wolford goes inside 50. Short little chip kick straight to Alex Haynes, who can't quite reel in the mark. Might have been pushed, but it's play on. And it's a ball up inside 450 for the Rovers, about 25 minutes out.
Early nerves from the big fella, Ben?
No, I don't think so. He was under a fair bit of pressure with that one. I think we can make an excuse for that one. But he does win the ruck tap, goes straight to Tim Wolford, and Lockie Lellman's got a bit of space, hands it across to Harrison Brown, kicks on the way, but he doesn't like it, no good off the boot, and it looks like it's going to be out of bounds for a free kick to Barmera.
Looked like a training drill that around that contest.
Moved very well, the Rovers then, but just didn't quite have the calm head to
Brown
finish
was in the right spot.
Yeah, and he'll do that all day. He's one of those guys that doesn't run out of legs, so look for him to run the tram lines all day for sure.
Forgot to ask you guys who your favourite was for the Murray Pioneer Award, but I can't ask you, Ben.
No. It's 6 playing 1 on the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard. Barmera Monash with the early lead. They work the footy down the western wing. Good kick from Millard. Finds Freeman. Freeman plays on in front. Can Drugamella make something out of this? It's a foot race going on here. It's the 29 of Rover that gets his hands on it first. Big tackle in the middle of the 50 for Barmera Monash. What's the umpire going to say here? My footy.
As we
Righto.
talked about in the pre-game, Ben, this is what Barmera need to do. Pressure on the Renmark halfbacks.
Yeah, they set up really well, so you've got to get it in quick. Drogamella, though, a snap around the body out of the contest, but it's hit the behind post. It's going to be a kick to Renmark. Free kick, so no score.
Don't like that rule, fellas.
Not a fan?
No, not when you're having a shot at goal. Because it's not as if you're trying to kick it out, is it?
Took you all season to bring that up?
Yeah.
So the Rovers through Lellman on halfback, handball over the top to Dan Wolford. He's got a couple of metres, kicks down the line. God, great bit of play from Barmera Monash. Justin Bonney tackled by Rowe after the mark.
That's a second effort from Rowe. Declan Johnson there, the Rowe of the footy. Dan Wolford gets it back. He's had a lot of it, and he's running into an open 50 here. He sees something he likes on the other side, though. Switches the play. Harrison Brown goes inside 50. Tim Wolford's got a bit of space. Can't quite get there, though. He's going to have to gather this one.
Drop short, under a bit of pressure. Wellington enough to get the footy out of there. Great defensive play from Mitch Wellington from Barmera Monash. And Barmera did it right there.
I don't want to put the pressure on the Barmera player, but if that mark had been taken at half-back, they wouldn't have been under this sort of pressure. And that just shows you cannot afford to waste opportunities against this Renmark side. They make you pay.
Both teams have spilled a couple of marks early, but it's obviously always going to be played at a bit of frantic pace.
Yeah, Mock to Bonney in the middle of the defensive 50 for the Roos.
Barmera moving the ball well out of defence. Can they keep doing this for the whole game?
Kicking to Jack Austin's probably not the smartest move. He chops off for Renmark there.
I reckon that's the Growers Services Riverland mark of the day, fellas.
So far.
An intercept mark at half forward. They're just as good as intercept marks at half back.
Austin drives it into the 50. No one home for the Rovers. And great mark from Mock for the Roos, who clears it out quickly to the pocket. And the Roos, this is where they are so calculated and precise. This chip it down the wing. Might not be the most exciting football for some purists, Nobby, but it's highly effective.
Tell you what I've seen, Ben. Jordan Freeman in ruck against Waikerie. He's not worrying that he's 6 or 10 inches shorter. He's running him around.
Oh, Spilios off the bench had a paddock, but it was intercepted. The Roos now under a bit of pressure. Whitbourne, Lehman there, tackled, wrapped up, taken to the ground. Play on's the call. And we're going to get a ball up just inside the centre square on the eastern wing.
Is Waikerie fit enough to go with a smaller bloke running him around, Ben?
Yes.
Good.
Sorry, that's a short answer, but absolutely he is.
You got the VO2 max stats there, Ben? Or it sounds like Trevor Thorpe for the Rovers clears it out.
From the veteran.
So still a hot footy in the middle. Harrison Brown tried to drive through the pack, a couple of quick handballs, and Thorpe on his left finds his old mate Jared Rowe, but it was punched forward. The Barmera Monash Roos, Aidan Lyons, great bit of defence, taken to ground. Umpire's seen something.
I could see that was going to happen, Ben, before he even got there.
Yep. Old Rose played a lot of finals footy, bit of experience, so just get in front, wear the contact, and now he's got a shot on goal if he wants to take it. Looks like he's gone back to have a crack at this one.
And the rotation's on already on the Rovers bench.
Seen that be a feature this year, and ever since Josh Vader took over, high rotations, keeps everyone involved, Nobby.
Yep.
Just gone 10 minutes played on the Murray Pest Control clock, first quarter.
Drugamala coming off, and Jake, the junkyard dog Smith, coming back on for Barmera.
Rowe has his shot. It's drifted wide. Still in play. Taken out of bounds.
Barmera have hunted the ball well on the ground at the moment, Ben.
Yeah, they have, and it's classic Barmera. Mock's taken a few intercept marks in the back 50. They look like they've set up really well. Occasion not really getting to them. It's good to see for the Roos and for their fans.
The question is, can you maintain that pressure for the full 4 quarters?
Absolutely.
Ball thrown in the forward pocket of the Rovers. Doesn't go too far wrapped up, and umpire says my footy right in front of the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard. Here at the Waikerie Oval, it is the 2023 Grand Final at 5RM, thanks to Australia Motors Riverland. Ball up. No one really got the clear tap on that one. And Fraser Sampson got his hands on it, but he was tackled without the footy. And he'll get the free.
Big tackle from Tom Austin, but Frankie got rid of the ball just in time. So playing coach of the Roos chips it across to Butterworth, but it's about a 6 metre kick, so that one's not going to count. Butterworth goes long. He's got a few Roos without opponents here. They might be out on the wing, Lockie.
Yeah, finds Whitbourne, chips over the top, finds Lehman. Just holds station for a second. Centres the footy. Dangerous kick intercepted by Matt Wolford, who turns and burns. And
You
Finds
cannot
Harrison
do that
Brown
to
in
the
the centre
Renmark
square.
Rovers. That's what brought Loxton North Panthers undone, that same sort of play.
Brown just holds it up for a sec. Brown's becoming a bit of a pivot man in the centre square, it must be said in this early stage.
He's just super versatile. I've seen him play down back, up forward, and getting the run in the guts as well.
Kicks into the 50. It spills over the back of the contest. Haynes is chasing the footy hard for the Rovers, but it goes out of bounds again. I tell you what, the supporters in the forward pocket there for the Rovers are getting their fair share of action.
Yes, ball seems to be trapped down there a little bit, but Rovers haven't made it count on the scoreboard just yet. Still only the 1 point to Barmera's one straight goal.
Ball in.
Control Australia's scoreboard.
Tapped from Freeman, but it's the Rovers that pick up the crumbs. Snap on goal. Has this one got the journey?
Oh, just
no,
missed.
that was Jack Austin, I reckon, with that.
Gee whiz, it would have been a great
On the left as
entry
well.
for the surf to seat Loxton goal of the day had he pinged that one.
It was Jack Austin.
It's probably due a big game today. He's had a quiet sort of second half of the year, the big fella. He's cut his mullet off a couple of weeks ago. Not sure whether that's
Oh, you
playing
know
into
what,
it
you know what
or
happened
not.
to Sampson when he cut his hair, Ben?
I don't want to jump to conclusions.
I wasn't there when it happened, but I've heard about
You
it.
sure about that?
So the Roos take the kick out. It's now on halfback. Spilios read it well, gets the hand out to Sullivan. Kicks down the line, looks for Sam Di Michelle, SDM, but it bounces not in his favour. And the Rovers saw Harry Beavis was trying to pick it up, and he's been in danger, and he's got the free kick.
That's on your bingo card. We don't see that too much paid anymore.
The veteran from the Rovers finds Lellman.
Lellman working hard in the middle now. He's come back on.
Lellman drives it wide.
Lovely kick across the ground.
Tom Austin, that is, with the footy now. Manages to gather it, kicks towards Tim Wolford. Two-time Timmy. Picks up the ball on the bounce, goes forward. Declan Johnson's the to the Rovers, particularly inside as well with that crash and bash. I was walking past him before. He's actually a lot bigger than you think as well. Ground level, he's actually quite a large man.
So the Roos with the free on halfback. Move it up through Jamison Whitbourne. Decides to play on, but just holds it there.
It's Dan Wesley, is
Half
it out
a
there? No, Whitbourne, yep.
Half a step.
Just
short.
Wesley.
Wesley, yep.
It's all good. Similar haircuts. Ball going inside 50 now for the Roos. Couple of Rovers there, and Jake Hanspatch is the one that chops it off. Tries to go to Dan Wolford, who takes a strong mark under pressure from Matty Wilden.
They're out.
Through the corridor they go, but Mock with a Superman dive jumps on the footy. Could be pinned here if we're going to be AFL standards, which we're not. So it's going to be a ball up right in the middle of the ground.
I think the only thing that saved him, Ben, was that whilst he had the ball in his hands, I don't think he had
Have a ball up now.
I'm surprised that he got away with that mock, because he did push his hand out to fend off, but never mind.
So a ball up. Rovers half forward, but it's the Roos that get a kick away. It's intercepted though by Morgan Edwards.
Yep. So drives it inside 50 for the Rovers. Geez, there's a lot of bodies flying around, boys. This is some tough stuff, and I think it's going to be a ball up.
Yeah, 6 plays, 2 on the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard. Barmera Monash with the early advantage.
How long can this keep going at this intensity, Ben?
4 quarters, not how long the game is. No, it's sort of what we expected though.
Yeah.
Sort of hot start and frantic start, but not necessarily a high scoring one.
Yeah, look, I'm impressed with the endeavour Barmera's shown, and they're really taking it up to this defending premiers on the ground ball gets.
We've seen that they are quite fit though. Like their last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, they've been running the muck for 4 straight quarters. So I don't think there's any
Butterworth
sort of doubt
getting
there.
plenty of opposite cross half back.
Yeah, him and probably Dan Wolford's the other one that have had the most, I would have thought.
Drives it up to the centre wing. Flew up. No one marked it.
Yeah, Bevo.
That was Harry Beavis, boys, up and about with one hand.
Uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Mitch Wellington picks up the ball, kicks it up, and finds his teammate in Wilden. Wilden now on the
He started the
wing.
game well, giving him something up forward, although this case he's up ground.
Wilden now, small kick. Finds Jake Smith, the junkyard dog. He centres the footy to the 50. Can someone mark it for the Roos? They all flew up. trying to read the ball front and centre, but great defence from Renmark, and we'll get a ball up.
Big Harry came flying in for the Rovers there. It's had a few bodies around that one.
Yeah,
Might have just needed a little bit more torque, I reckon.
Yeah.
Anspatch was in a good spot. Or tunnelling, perhaps. Yep.
Umpire Todd Shelton seen something, and we're going to get a free kick here.
Max Petrolo, here we go. We know how well he played last week. Here's his big opportunity.
Yeah, this would be a massive goal for the Roos to go 2 up nice and early.
On the back of Barmera Monash bringing that high ball to ground there, Ben. Even though they were outnumbered in the contest, the ball came to ground.
So Petrole is going to kick from just inside 50. Tall man on the mark. It's got to be said, Zach Archery, tallest man on the field. High kick.
On its way.
Ball's
Looks
on the
pretty
way.
good. Looks very good. And the Roos have got 2.
If you don't mind, it's the Roos with the early advantage in the 2023 Grand Final. And Max Petrole backing up last week's stellar performance with a lovely goal.
Gee whiz, if you're doing the trophies at the Barmera Monash Footy Club and you're looking for best in finals, he's on the
He's already
podium.
got it.
He's on the podium, boys.
Give it to him at quarter time.
He's on the podium.
17 and a half minutes gone on the Murray Pest Control clock. First quarter action. Barmera Monash with the early lead. And just talking up this crowd, I'm wondering if anyone is in Barmera right now. Or Monash, for
So
that
in other
matter.
words, if you live in Barmera, make sure your door's locked.
Well,
because your
I
neighbour's
don't want
not
to be
here either.
suggesting any untoward activity. I'm just saying there might not be many people in that town right now.
Because your neighbour's here as well, so you have to be keeping an eye out for you.
They're a trustworthy bunch in Barmera Monash.
They
They've always
are.
treated us well at Fiver and football.
Long may it continue.
In fact, one of the few clubs that have offered us snacks at half time most weeks.
And a cup of tea as well.
Yeah,
Lockie, or
cup
do
of
you
tea.
have to bring your own?
No, Barmera Monash always have the kettle on. Ball back in the centre. We've had another clearance. Spilios tried to work it through the wall and got done holding the ball. And
Pinned.
yeah, probably, I don't know, 50-50 on that one.
Made
but
the
anyway,
mistake, put his hand up to fend off. If he left his hand down, he would have got away with that.
ball now. So Renmark now that try to go on the attack. Wrapped up though, and Barmera Monash play on advantage is the call. This is where the Roos are dangerous. Spilios got the footy on the wing. Kicks up to half forward, and Sam D. Michelle, SDM, turns, gets the footy on quickly. Jake Smith, the target for the Roos,
Ogle
goes
in the
over
right
the back.
spot here, fellas.
Ogle keeps the footy in play, pushed over the line at the same time. What's the umpire going to say? Ball it in. Oh, there was a frantic bit of play there. Nobby Norton and Ben
Yeah,
Lennon.
he's a bit young and inexperienced, Trent, but he had the speed to actually get back on his left and run around him. But hey, he's having a go.
Under 18 versus Trevor Thorpe. I think I know he's got a bit more experience going on.
Gartery taps forward. Jake Smith. This is the junkyard dog of old.
Look
Shakes
at
the
that.
tackle. On to Drugamara. Is this the goal of the day? I reckon it is. And the Barmera Monash Roos have kicked the first 3.
Gee whiz, how's the fend off?
Yeah.
Jake Smith, pivotal.
What about that for the hardest moment of the day so far, fellas? I mean, he literally shrugged them off, pumped the ball out, and there he was, Ben Drugamara with a outside of the right boot, sort of almost a check side.
It was definitely the surf to suit.
Yep.
Loxton goal of the day so far.
Yep.
Barmera Monash, 3 goals, zip, 18, plays Renmark, just 2 points.
Gee, they look good the way they set up forward, Barmera Monash. You know, like guys like Jake Smith playing well above his division with his strength, but Ogle giving them that bit of speed in around the ball and opening it up.
I think you might be onto something with that chaos theory.
Yeah.
Knowledge, bombed
Here we
in.
go again out of the middle.
Yeah, Barmera Monash with another clearance. Harry Beavis on half back. Got a couple of bites at it, but Mark spilled out the back. They all tackle hard. And we'll get a ball up. 45 out from Barmera's goal as we go over the 20-minute mark.
The unusual thing
First
about
quarter.
this, Ben Lennon, is that Renmark haven't been under this sort of pressure.
No, this is definitely new, and they've had a week off as well, so potentially just taking a little while to get started, but they have had a lot of footy. So has this man.
Lovely pick up by Brown and out to Wolford there.
Yeah, the Renmark Rovers certainly stunned early. Barmera Monash, this tackling pressure is phenomenal, and we're seeing a little bit of
Spilling over a bit here.
Yeah,
There's
time to ramp
Matthew,
up.
There's Mock saying, get off my coach.
Got a
Just-
feeling, Frankie at the bottom of that
Yeah.
pack. A few
Michael.
familiar faces around.
Yeah.
Ball up to Haynes that takes the tap unopposed.
Unfamiliar ground there for Dan Wolford. Normally he's the outside runner, but he's in there under it as well.
Can definitely win his own ball. Just
Yeah.
interesting, Jack Austin's gone the full forward. I think Big Harry must be taking a break, and Alex Haynes is in the ruck.
Haynes, Freeman pulled out of that one, but then decided to have a crack at it.
Great second effort. Alex Haynes, he's pinned him holding the ball.
Very good call by the umpire there, because Hodgson threw his head back, motioning that he'd been high, but that tackle was around the chest and it was holding the ball. Well done, umpire Kasolki, I reckon, on that one.
So Dane Austin now kicks it forward. Tim Wolford's the target, but he's got two Roos to beat. Mock is one of them. And he's been pinned at the bottom of this one. Tim Wolford, he's not going anywhere. So a ball up just outside 50.
Just on that, Jordan Freeman's pretty mobile. You see him in a contest and then one kick away, he's doing the intercept mark. I don't know how many Ks a game he's racking up already, but...
Definitely got quite the engine.
Certainly moving. And
Wolford again out of the pack, winning the hard ball for Renmark. Pokes it forward into the square.
Zunic hunting this one. Who's going to get there first? The Roos rush it over the line for a behind.
A bit hard to spot Zuma today. He's got the no sleeves. Look at him.
It's too hot. There's a couple of the junior boys that ran out in the longies and then called the time. Thought, that might have been a bit of a mistake. And,
changed
go back to go back.
Or called the runner out to cut him off.
Yeah, scissors. Yeah. No, just a little jersey swap. Smokey Haynes flies for the footy. The Roos could be.
It was over the line. Gee whiz, they had options, didn't they? The Barmera boys
just couldn't quite pick it up clean.
Tell you what, they've run the quarter though. 22 and a half minutes gone. The Murray Pest Control clock. 5 RM Riverland football, thanks to Australian Motors Riverland. So Hodgson, great bit of play there. Hasn't he been a revelation this season?
He's been fantastic. One of the best sort of first-year players, you have to say, but
Mock
the best of them all was Jack Sullivan.
Down on his haunches here, fellas, after nose-diving the centre square earlier. He seems to have copped another one off the plate.
I think he's worn a few so far today.
They need him. They need him for the 4 quarters.
Massive part of their defence, and saw him kick a pivotal goal last week as well from long range.
And there it is, quarter time in the 2023 Riverland Football League Grand Final. As the both sides go to their respective coaches, it's the Barmera Monash Roos 3 straight 18. Renmark Rovers just the 3 behind. Second quarter right after this. Yep, good boys. Back at the Riverland Football League 2023 Grand Final, it's the Barmera Monash Roos, 3 straight 18. Renmark Rovers just the 3 behinds. Lockie Winnell, Ben Lennon and Nobby Norton this afternoon. It is quarter time and it's a big day in Waikerie, that is for sure. Let's go down to the ground where Nobby is. Nobby, what are you picking up down there, mate? Nobby, can we hear you? Have you got a copy, Nobby? No, we've got no Nobby Norton. That's all right, all good.
Got to turn it on, Nobby.
We'll work on another system and find out what the deal is. Ben Lennon, you're alongside me. Look, your thoughts on the game so far?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be pretty happy if you're a Barmera, man. At the moment, they've started pretty much perfectly. They've made it count on the scoreboard as well, which is something they haven't done in recent weeks. 3 straight goals. As the siren goes again, a very loud siren, I must say. Right in pole position here. But no, Barmera have been very good. Defensively set up as they have been for the whole year pretty much, and Mock chopping off and Sullivan chopping off and a few others. But yeah, going inside 450, I mean, the addition of Mitch Wellington has paid dividends so far. Yep. Last week and today as well. A few good marks. I
think we might be able to go to Nobby now. Nobby, what are you picking up down there, my friend?
Yeah, what I'm hearing, boys, is that the Barmera's speed to the ball and their pace with the ball is...
Oh, you might need to turn to us a little bit there, Nobby, if you can.
Their speed to the ball and how quickly they're getting free is becoming a bit of an issue for Renmark. Let's see how they respond in this quarter, fellas.
Thank you, Nobby Norton on the boundary line this afternoon. It is 5am Riverland Football, the grand final, second quarter, thanks to Riverland Agri Services. The last supporters now just leaving the ground, Ben, and just touch on this crowd again. It's absolutely massive here at Waikerie this afternoon.
Yeah, these pockets are filled to the brim and... Siren. The home supporters are out in force as well. Saw their B grade get up. So, yeah, good vibes around Waikerie at the moment. And the ball is underway again in the second quarter now. Trent Ogle is the one that gets a kick away. Goes forward for the Roos. And they're probably going to go inside 50 here through Petrole, who's had a bit of it in the first quarter. Instead, he switches wide, just to prove me wrong, I assume. And Trent Ogle's got the footy again.
Yep, Trent Ogle, small kick over the top. Finds Wilden, the number 12 for the Barmera Monash Roos. Just hold station and half forward. Just looking for some options. The Roos have the hold on this game so far. Drives it to the pocket. They all fly up. Flies over the back. Spilios, I reckon, there trying to pick up the crumbs. Jake Smith socket off the ground. And that's a minus score for the Roos on the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard, and their first minus score for today, Ben Lennon.
Yeah, so they are actually sort of generating some shots on goal, which is obviously what Frankie Sampson would be hoping for, because it's something they have been lacking throughout the year. But like Nobby said in that first quarter, a bit of chaos ball, just bomb it in, see what happens. And at the moment, it's paying dividends. So a couple of Renmark players run past that one, and it bounces the wrong way, and that's what you get. So the Roos looking good so far, but Renmark, they've been here before many times, so they're always going to come at some point in this game with a few goals and a bit of a surge. So just have to wait and see when that happens, Lockie.
Yep, it's Lellman with the footy on the halfback. Drives up to the wing. They all flew up. No one able to get their hands on it cleanly. Lellman got a handball again, but Mock tried to drive through the pack. Taken by Lellman, and he's going to get the free.
They're sitting under it. Petrole flies, ball goes out the back. And it's a bit of a scrimmage here. Beavis in there, Wolford now, Matthew with the ball. Tries to go forward. He's probably one that needs the lift for Renmark. Normally has so much of the footy, but hasn't seen too much of it so far, Lockie.
Yep, certainly an important player for the Renmark Rovers. Ball up just inside the centre square. Both teams still saying good day to each other behind the play. Tackled, and we'll go again. Another stoppage. Now the stoppage is starting to creep into this game in this early stage of the second quarter. Just over 2 minutes gone on the Murray Pest Control clock. If you're just joining us, it's the Roos with the lead, 3-1-19. Renmark Rovers just the 3 behinds. Bonnie in the centre for Barmera Monash. Umpire's seen something behind play here, and we're going to get a free back. I reckon it might have been an advantage play on that maybe had to come back. I'm not quite sure on that one. Jack Albrecht's the man with the footy. That is a given. And
he's got Sullivan wide if he wants him. I'm not sure he's seen him. He's got a paddock out there, but Tom Austin just floating to be enough of a barrier. Chooses to go short to Sampson. Sampson now goes over the top, so Sullivan's got the footy.
Yeah, right. Sullivan with the footy. Brings it back inboard. Finds Strugamuller unmarked. Handball pass, Sullivan. Can Sullivan drive this into the 50? He can. Looks for a target. Who's there for the Roos? There's a foot race to the footy. Trent Ogle, he got his hands on it, but he was wrapped up. And we'll have a stoppage just inside the forward pocket for the Barmera Monash Roos.
Yep, big chance here for the Roos. If they can jag the first one of this quarter, it's going to go a long way. 4-0 would be a massive start. And they've got the footy here. There's a snap on goal, but it's only as far as Brody Rover, who gets a quick kick out. Kel Marath now with the footy. First time he's touched the ball so far today. Goes a bit of a dribbler along the ground, but Dane Austin picks it up pretty cleanly and turns on the afterburners. Has a look at Frank and says, see you later. Dane Austin charging down the wing. Goes forward for the Rovers. Alex Haynes drops what he should have taken. It's good enough for a second effort, though. He's still going, Big Smokey, but Frank's there. Sampson, that is, to pick it up for the Roos. Wellington dumped in the tackle. Whitbourne in there as well for Barmera. Hot footy at the moment, Lockie.
Yeah, Whitbourne got tackled there, but umpire says my footy, and we'll have a ball up just on the half-forward line for the Renmark Rovers. Now kicking to the town end. Ball up. What can we see here? Harrison Brown read it well, but he was wrapped up too, and this tackling pressure certainly continuing in this 2023 Grand Final. 5RM, thanks to Riverland Agri-Services. Ball up again, tapped out the side. Wolford tried to get a clearance. Dan Wolford now got his hands on it. Got a kick away, but he didn't make contact, and that is holding the ball. Incorrect disposal, if you don't mind. Wilden now with the footy on halfback for the Barmera Monash Roos. If you're a Barmera Monash Roos supporter, started off very well. Oh, great bit of play there. The number 10 from the Rovers into Austin. Just punched over the line, and we'll get a ball in, or we're going to get a kick? Well, no, it should be a ball in.
I believe it'll be a throw-in right in front of us here, mate. I believe Nobby Norton might just get a touch if he goes a little bit closer.
Nobby got us.
Got you?
Yeah, I got you, Lockie. And look, the pressure Barmera are putting on the Renmark ball carriers is something they haven't experienced before. You saw that last one, Dan Wolford run down, but even if he got it on the boot, there was 2 Barmera Monash players to smother.
Great stuff. Nobby Norton on the boundary in this 23 Grand Final. Hodgson now with the footy on halfback, handballed over. It's a dangerous play here for Barmera Monash, but they're still hanging in this one. Just how, no one knows. And umpire says, my footy, and we'll have a ball up, half forward for the Renmark Rovers. Got to make something stick soon, Ben Lennon.
Yeah, the intensity is there from both teams. It's not just Barmera applying all the pressure. They both have been really hot at the footy, and a lot of free kicks being paid, and there's another one there. I think Jack Austin just held on to the tackle for a little bit longer, and the Barmera player is down. Can't quite see who it is. I believe it's Wellington. Yeah,
Mitch Wellington came into this side and started off the season, missed a few weeks and came back, and certainly been a big difference in this side. Butterworth brings it wide to Mock. Mock just holds station on half-back. He tries to centre the footy. Oh, spilled over the back. It was Patrol, but it's found its way to Spilios and Ogle. Ogle's quick. Gets it into the 50 quickly. Can Freeman mark this one? They're running against the flight of the footy. Both teams working hard. I reckon that's one of the Austins in there for Renmark trying to defend the footy. Oh, takes them all on.
Did well because he had to chase that ball about 25 metres as well. So to be that composed, and then Beavis now with the footy goes through the corridor, but I think might have rewind to last year. Frank's not on your team anymore. Bevo takes the intercept mark, and now the Roos have a chance to go inside 50, but straight down the throat of Zach Gardery.
Yeah, Spilios got a great spot and just kicked it into the 50, but intercept mark from Gartree. They take the footy wide, and it's found Trevor Thorpe for the Rovers. Just brings it back inboard.
Renmark still yet to kick a goal, Lucky. Halfway, well, not quite halfway, about 5-6 minutes into the second quarter. Yeah,
Matt Wolford now brings it wide. And now the Rovers go on the switch. It's a wobbly kick. But Austin's going to run onto it, and that's Jack Austin. Handball's back inboard to Tom Austin. Kicks up, looks for Jared Rowe for the Rovers. Can he mark it? He can't, but he pushes it forward. The Rovers might be able to make something out of this one. Harrison Brown, be one of Renmark's best so far, finds Lellman. Lellman, small kick into the 50. And finally, the Rovers managed to work something out, and they've got a mark inside their 50. That's Decky Johnson, I reckon, the 33.
It is. Not much of him, but he's had an impact in the finals and in the last round of the home-and-away season as well. A couple of early blitzes. He's going to kick from just on 50. It's a high ball. Don't think it's going to have the legs. It's a couple of tall boys, and what a goal from Alex Haynes. Rover over the back of the pack. Snap from about 20 centimetres out. Lockie, it's not the most long-range goal we're going to see today, but gets Renmark on the board. 1 goal, 9 points. Plays Barmera Monash 3 goals, 1-19.
Yeah, one of the tallest guys on the field today doing the roving himself. Maybe it says a bit about how the Renmark Rovers are going so far, but maybe that can start the Rovers' attack. Barmera Monash just having a bit of a chat behind the play here and just seeing what they're going on. But As you said, it's the Rovers' first goal of the day. 139, they trailed the Barmera Monash Roos, rather, 3-1-9-10. I'm not used to saying that score that way round this season, Ben Lennon.
Particularly at Waikerie. I don't think that's going to happen too many times between Barmera and Renmark, but we saw it 3 times earlier today. Lucky 2-1 to the Roos so far.
And Nobby Norton, you are on the boundary. Nobby, what can you see?
Yeah, Renmark finding some space out here on the clubroom side, on the change room side, and I'm wondering how long Barmera can keep this pressure they've had on them up, and it looked like Renmark slipped them then.
Thank you, Nobby Norton. 5am football.
It's a pretty warm day as well. There's going to be some tired boys at half-time, sucking them in for sure. But it's the last day of the season. You've got to leave it all out there.
It certainly is. We'll have another ball up in the centre. They all flew up. Guthrie got the tap. Had to rove it himself. Rose in there as well, working hard. Barmera Monash, a wild handball. And this is where they might get themselves undone a little bit with these loose handballs. But free kick it is. It's Jared Rowe for the Rovers.
Yeah, pushing the back there against the Roos. Rowe wastes no time. Goes inside 50. Mock sat under that one and might have just copped one high. He has. And again, Mock on the ground. Won another big physical contest.
I reckon one of the Austins was calling for a high after the first free had been paid.
Well, it was probably there, yeah.
It was, but understandably the first free's already got to be paid.
That's right. So Mock with the footy, hands it off to Sullivan. Looking to rebound here a little bit for the Roos. Tim Wolford's hunting this one, but there's a couple of Barmera Monash players out there for him to beat. One of them, I believe that's Aidan Hodgson on that far side.
That's Hodgson.
Jake Smith just coming on off the bench, and Kel Morath coming on for the Rovers, so a couple of changes.
Yeah, Spilios now with the footy. Just hold station. This is what Barmera Monash are going to have to do if they want to win this one. Just when they don't need to go on the attack, don't cough it up. And just cruise it down the line. Lehman now over the back of the pack. Wrapped up, tackled, and we'll have a free kick here to the Roos. Wow, okay.
He paid too high for that one against Lockie Lowman.
So it's Sam D. Michelle. Nobby, your good friend, Sam DeMickley.
I'm glad we cleaned that one up last week. It's good to get a hold on that.
Kicks into the 50. Great kick from Sam De Michelle. Can Barmera Monash make something out of this? They can't. I reckon that was Josh Vader there, the Renmark coach, that had to take that one over the line. Sorry, Trevor Thorpe.
Just noticed Zach Gartrey going back for the Rovers and plugging a bit of a hole inside back 50. It's a big man to get around. He's going to win this ruck tap.
So the Roos kicking to the Riverland, deep in attack. Ball in, doesn't go too far, and will go again. You mentioned between Barmera Monash and the Renmark Rovers, Ben Lennon. Only 3 previous grand finals between these two sides.
Yeah, correct. And the first one, I believe, was it
83?
83. That was the first premiership for Barmera Monash as Barmera Monash as a combined club, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, ball now just in the hands of the umpires. We'll have another ball up. 4 pocket from Barmera Monash. Just follow this for a sec. They all flew up, tap back in board. Hot footy once again. Barmera Monash get a handball out. They're looking dangerous. Trent Ogle, can he run under the footy? He can't. Austin drove through the wall. Gets a handball out, but just went as far as Barmera Monash, but holding the ball it was Spilios that read that.
Been consistent on that today, which is what you want. If you're going to pay it, you need to pay it all day, and that's exactly what they've done so far. Really hot and holding the ball, and Dan Wolford's got the footy because of it now. He's going to kick down the wing. Couple of options here. Zunic is one, but over the top is Jack Sullivan. He's played a great game so far. Best first-year player in the RFL at Monday night's Willis Medal. Yeah, brings it back in board, finds the coach, Fraser Sampson, the former Rover. Now they go on the attack. Bonnie into the other pocket. Lehman, Hodgson wants the target, brings it back in board. Mark, can someone, they can. Yeah, Whitbourne in that, no, it's Wesley. Classic mistake.
Yep, no,
hard
it's Wesley,
to tell them apart.
Number 8. So Dan Wesley for the Barmera Monash Roos. Kicking from a tight angle if he goes for the goal. I reckon he's a sort of type that probably would fancy a goal, Ben Lennon. And some of those players, you just have to let them do it. Yeah,
I think Flighty's another one that would definitely have a crack from anywhere. And yeah, Wesley, no difference here. So he's going to run in. Looks like he might be shaping up for a check side, Lockie.
His ball's on the way.
Oh, no good.
I think the crowd thought it was a goal before he knew it wasn't.
It's just a nice little switch of play. The Jake Smith who's taking the mark, and he kicks it to SDM.
Sam D. Michelle. So he'll be kicking from a bit better angle on the other pocket now.
Getting a big goal signal from Shane Uren up here. He likes D. Michelle's chances. I like it too. Yes. And in front of the opposition crowd, I reckon he might just give it a big one if he manages to snag this one.
This is 5RM football grand final thanks to Riverland Agri Services.
Big game player, D. Michelle. Come from Imperials, won a flag last year. Can he do it again this year? Kicks on the way.
He's happy.
Oh, Shane Uren.
minor score it is. But,
Hit the post, much to the delight of the Rovers fans.
Very happy with that one. Certainly with the advantage in the early stage. 3 goals 2, plays 1 goal 3. Barmera Monash with the control of this game thus far.
That would have been an important one for the Roos as well. Renmark just starting to find their feet a little bit. Hit the scoreboard now. 1 goal 3, 9. Plays Barmera Monash 3 goals 2, 20. 11-point difference early in this one. Zach Gartrey, great pack mark. But he's managed to drop the footy. I'm not sure what's going on here. The big ruckman kicks it out wide, finds Jared Rowe, who takes a strong mark under a bit of pressure, and the Rovers can reset here on the halfback flank.
Jared Rowe with the footy on halfback. What options has he got? His players screaming for it. You've got Matt Wolford calling for it, but goes up the line. Zunic was the target. It spilled over the back. Vader tried to get his hands on it too. Declan Johnson's running at it, but it's Justin Bonney from the Barmera Monash Roos that gets his hands on it and takes it over the line. Okay.
Vader's trying to steal a free kick here for last touch because he got the handball away, or at least that's what he's trying to say.
Now,
just a conversation between a couple umpires.
Just trying to work out what the umpires are going to do here. Yes,
Made a compelling case, as Vates. Charlie agrees, so on we go. Inside 50 for the Rovers. Vates just sets it up. Zunic's there, but cleaning up.
Great mark.
Once again, I believe it's Jack Sullivan.
That's Sullivan, and he is a contender for the Riverland Steel. Best on ground so far.
Great contest up here on the wing between Dean Michelle and Harrison Brown, and the ball spills over the line, so have a ball in.
Kick probably not the greatest, but nonetheless cleared it out of the danger spot.
No one's going to remember the kick. It's all about the clunks.
And another good mark for the Grower Services Riverland mark of the day. Ball in. It's Gartrey that taps forward, but Aidan Hodgson from the Roos read it well. They always Mock tried to get a kick away. It was smothered. Now Matt Wolford's in there. He was tackled for the Rovers, and we'll have another ball up just outside forward 50.
Aidan Hodgson coming from the ground here, just limping a little bit. I'm sure he'll be fine. Ben Drogamala coming on to replace him.
Yep, very handy swap there. Another tap away. Now it's Tim Wolford that gets a handball out to Matt. Matt drives it forward. A couple of Barmera players clash, but it's still a hot footy, and Renmark's attacking 50. That's been the scoring end today. Harrison Brown, another good touch, but tackled. And we'll have another stoppage.
Mock again at the bottom of a couple of heavy hits there.
Every one of these stoppages, though, just takes more minutes out of the game and just builds a bit more pressure, which is going in the favour of Barmera Monash.
And that allows Barmera to set up as well. They get a little bit of time to set themselves up behind the ball. Contest now inside the centre square. Lockie Lellman had the footy, gives it off to Dan Wolford, but he's set upon immediately, and he's been pinned for holding the ball. There has the Willis medalist of this year. SDM is going to get the footy.
Yeah, D. Michelle. What's he going to look for? Just hold station. Yeah, this is smart footy. Taking a bit of time and a bit of heat out of the game. Takes it wide. Not sure what the target. Whitbourne was there, but no one got their hands on it first. Doesn't matter because Whitbourne's tackling pressure takes it to ground and will get a stoppage. And there's a little bit of play here. You know, without knowing it, you've just taken a minute out of this quarter as we get closer to half-time. 16 gone on the Murray Pest Control clock. Tap. Big tap from Gartrey. They're running onto the footy. But it's Bonnie from the Roos that gets his hands on it. Tap back inboard there. I reckon that was Jack Albrecht. But I think it might have been over the boundary line, and it was. So Matt Wolford with the footy.
He's slowly working his way into the game, Matt Wolford. He's always primed for finals. Season campaign there. He goes to his brother Tim. Tim's got a bit of space here. Turns and goes straight away. Long kick towards Smokey Haynes inside forward 50. Couple of roos there. Dylan Millard's one, and using every bit of that experience, Dylan Millard taps it over the line for a rush behind.
Yeah, we'll see if we can go down to Nobby and see what he's picking up. Nobby, have we got a copy with you, my good friend?
I've noticed that Matt Wolford's wearing former Warrior Jack Albrecht's his tag, which is why his influence is perhaps limited a bit.
Thanks for that, Nobby Norton. I was going to do just watch this one for a second. The kick in, a spectacular mark effort from Wellington, but
Mitch Jenke pinned for holding the ball there. Tried to take on probably one too many Barmera Monash Roos. Kick goes over the top of the intended target, though, and the Rovers have a bit of time here through Kel Marath. Gives to Dan Wolford, who set upon immediately, but has a bit of poise. Finds Lellman, only about 5 metres away, though. Mitch Jenke now with a handball. Jared Rowe, big snap. It's gone very high up in the air. Takes some marking.
Yeah, good luck getting onto that one. Millard now trying to get the footy over the line for a rush behind. Haynes tried to keep it in, but I think the Roos, have they got over the line? I don't think they have.
I reckon that's a ball up.
Yep,
not sure anyone's too sure what's going on. But so Charlton's got the footy.
24 or 20 plays 10 on the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard.
Oh, Alex Haynes
Haynes
out of the ruck, over his own head. Nowhere towards goal, though. And Barmera Monash get a kick out. Wesley's hunting this one. Does well to get there as well. Read that footy perfectly. He kicks it out. Now Trent Ogle's got a bit of space if he can get it. He does. And he turns on the afterburners.
Kicks up to half forward, but it's a couple of rovers there. Jake Smith taps it forward. A good little volleyball, little set. Finds Lehman. Handball's back, but it's found the rovers on half back, and they're going to clear this one out. And that's the 17 of Morgan Edwards that drives it up. A crunching bit of play, and that is a hard moment. And Barmera Monash not too happy about that. There's been a 25-metre penalty played.
That's almost the knee to the kidney region of Frank Sampson from Nathan Zunic there. 25-metre penalty.
So Barmera Monash fans understandably not too happy about that one. He's now up and about and looks like he'll take his kick. But, Todd Charlton, their umpire, just explaining what you can and can't do in the rules of AFL football. Fraser Sampson, their 25-metre penalty.
Good to see his bounce straight back up and he's got the footy and going to take the kick, Frankie, because, that looked like a pretty heavy collision.
Switches sideways, finds Butterworth. State country representative this year, brings it back inboard, finds Bonnie, just holds station.
Bit of a hush around the ground at the moment, Lockie. I reckon that sort of rattled people a little bit.
Certainly did. Mark up on the forward 50 for the Roos, and it's our old mate Jake Smith from the Barmera Monash Football Club. The mark inside 50. He told me in the off-season he was going to play twos this year, but when Frank Sampson was announced as coach, I think Frankie told him to get running, and he's been committed ever since.
He would have been one of the first phone calls Frankie made, I'm sure, but he's going to kick from right on the paint here. It's going to take some kicking. He's gone. Big left foot kick, hasn't quite spun the right way, and it's gone to Tim Wolford, who punches it over the line, and it's going to be a boundary throw-in.
Nobby Norton, have we got you on the boundary at the moment?
Back.
Oh, he's back, right. Okay. Oh, you went out of sight for a second there, Nobby,
us.
so I wasn't sure where you'd gone, but
He pops up when you least expect him, Nobby.
That's what we like. That's why we've got him on the big bucks here at 5RM Football for Riverland Agri Services.
Bit of reconnaissance, fellas. Hodgson favouring a right ankle.
Yeah, it looked like he was limping before, but he's having the drink on the boundary line at the moment. He'll probably come back on, I would have thought, Nobby.
Yeah, I tell you what, that would you say? It wasn't really a crude tackle, but that late that hit on Fraser Sampson has sparked the Barmera Monash guys up, which is why Sampson jumped to his feet, as you have to when you're the coach.
Yeah, that's it. Lead by example.
Yep.
So it's 20 playing 10 on the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard. Barmera Monash with the early lead as we approach half-time. It's now into time on. Over 20 minutes gone. Can Barmera Monash get another one before half-time? That would really set up the second half.
Boys, at ground level, you notice the tackling pressure that's coming from Barmera Monash. There's more than one going for each.
Looks like there's going to be a shot on goal here for the Roos.
Yeah,
might be that tackling pressure that you're speaking of paying off.
It might have been incorrect
Spilios.
disposal on Tim Wolford, I reckon, is it?
Spilios with the free. Normally a pretty good shot on goal.
And his quarter, this second quarter, has been a big improvement from his first, and he's starting to have an influence on the game, Spilios.
Certainly is. Kicking from 30 out, 45-degree angle. Ball on the way. And that's a minus
Gee whiz,
score.
fellas, you got to kick them. You see how bad kicking costs even AFL sides. And in
Yes.
a game like this, when you're hunting down the three-time premiers and top side, you can't afford to give those back, not take the most of those.
Need to make them count. Brody Rover's got the footy now for Renmark in the back pocket. He's going to go down the line. Gartry's there, so is Dane Austin, but it goes over the head of both of them. And guess who? Jack Sullivan
Gee
again.
whiz, he's having a heck of a quarter,
Mark
fellas.
number 200-ish on the stat sheet, I would have thought.
He's very much in the clubhouse leaderboard for the Riverland Steel best on ground.
Butterworth coming from the ground for a rest, but no respite for the Rovers because Hodgson's back in his place.
It's a few pretty handy rotations there, and there's going to be a free kick
Here
in
he
the
is
forward
again.
pocket.
Here he is again, fellas. The junkyard dog. He is leading by example up there in the forward line.
He's lifting for this game.
As he should.
He's a big game player.
Had a quick sort of exchange of glance with him as he interchanged.
Well, there
And
it
he is loving every minute of this,
There we
fellas.
go. He's
Well,
going to
there
have to
it is.
kick after the siren.
Half time, but we'll stay with it because Jake Smith, the former Barmera Monash captain,
Holy
now in the
dolly,
quad of a
fellas.
career. Oh, that would have brought the house down.
No
It's a
score,
minus score.
no score, Lockie, no score. Tapped out.
There it is, half time. It's the Barmera Monash Roos, 3-3-21, leading the Renmark Rovers, 1-4-10 in the 2023 Riverland Football League Grand Final here at 5RM. We'll take a break for half time, still plenty to come. 23 grand final, Lockie Winnell, Ben Lennon and Nobby Norton this afternoon. It's the Barmera Monash Roos with the lead, 3-3-21. The Renmark Rovers, the three-time Premiership playing side, trail at 1-4-10. Ben, look, let's just, Nobby Norton at the moment at a sod turning ceremony. We'll discuss that in depth in a minute, but let's talk about the football first and foremost. Look, Barmera Monash really have come out of the blocks hard, and I'm going to say it, Renmark is shocked. They're stunned.
As am I with the siren, mate. It's a perfect start for Barmera, but you just wonder if they maybe haven't made their dominance count as much as they probably would like to. You know, Renmark have been in this position a million times before, played in big games. Obviously, their fifth grand final in a row, going for 4 wins in a row. So there's a lot of experience. They wouldn't be. They might have been initially shocked, but they're not rattled or anything like that. I don't think the Rovers. They've been here before. They've done it, and there's every chance they come out and all it takes is 10, 15 minutes. But Barmera, it must be said, have definitely been the better of the two teams so far, and it shows on the scoreboard.
They certainly have. Nobby Norton at this sod turning ceremony, so a bit of a presentation underway today to start the club rooms. Yeah, the new club room's being built down here. Ben, I lost track of the price tag, somewhere between $3 and $4 million. We won't get into that too much, but it's going to be very impressive when they are built, and Nobby Norton is down there.
I reckon that was his first priority.
He told me he was rapidly spray painting a shovel with some gold paint early this morning, I was led to believe. Side's now back into the centre, and we will get this second half underway pretty soon. I'm going to put it to you, Ben. The Rovers, they trail by 11 points. It's only 2 kicks. How do they hit the front? What do they got to do?
Yeah, it's tough because Barmera set up so well behind the ball, but I think the Rovers, while they're typically a really skillful, clean team, they probably haven't been able to clunk things one grab and pick things up clean and get the ball moving quickly, because that's the only way you score against Barmera is if you catch them off guard sort of in their back 50. So they just need to quicken the pace up a little bit and just be a bit cleaner around the footy, but it's easier said than done.
Certainly is. There it is. Second half underway. Ball up in the middle. Jake Smith for the Roos gets the first kick. It's a wobbly one forward. No one really able to take it cleanly. Barmera Monash get their hands on it, taking the ground, and we'll have a stoppage.
Just on that as well, the reason Renmark hasn't been able to pick it up cleanly has been the relentless pressure of the Barmera Monash. Pretty much the whole team. It's not just the defenders that are doing well. It's the forwards like Wesley and Whitbourne who gets a kick away there. They've been hunting really well, but Harry Beaver sits under this one and takes a nice intercept mark and looking to go quickly already. So Trevor Thorpe's got the footy now on that far side. Quick kick away. He's got a one-on-one down the line. But Sullivan, again, is proving his worth today, absolutely, for Barmera Monash. But looks like it's going to be a ball up, potentially. Or there might be a free kick for holding the ball, which there is. To get rid of that, the Renmark player.
Yeah, Fraser Sampson with the footy, the coach of the Roos. Former Renmark Rover player, 3-time Premier. Goes inboard. And finds Whitbourne. He takes it wide. Good kick. Finds Jake Smith.
It's been influential today.
Certainly
already.
has been. He's a big game player. Saw him at the Willis Medal night. He said he forgot the night was on until someone reminded him at 5 o'clock.
Mad dash. Yep, very good.
Barmera Monash now just calm and collected. Small kick up the line. Oh, great mark from Ben Drugamala, and that's an early contender this quarter for the mark of the day for Grower Services Riverland. Brings it back inboard quickly, now into the middle of the 50. Can someone from the Roos mark it? They can't. Barmera's defence pushes it forward, but it's Matt Wilden that ran for the footy to pick it up. He was somewhat taken, but went over the line, and we're going to get a ball in, I reckon.
He's a free kick.
He's been given the free, yeah. Right, okay. I thought he was putting his hands up saying he was frustrated for not getting the free.
I think Lockie Lellman tried his best to avoid the high contact there, but just had too much momentum and carried through and took him out. So, yeah, free kick in the pocket. Geez, to take a tough kick. He's going to run in off of a hill if he wants to have a kick.
He's kicked one already today. He set the tone early. Matt Wilden for the Roos. It's an absolute howler off the boot, but it's still on the 50 arc for the Roos. What can they do from this? Wolford for the Rovers gets it out to another Wolford. Now Jack Albrecht for the Roos tries to get his hands on it. The Roos are hungry for the footy and a great tackle. Holding the ball? No. Umpire says my footy. And we're going to get another ball up. Still deep in attack for the Roos. That's what we've seen today. Tap forward. Renmark try to do their best to get the clearance out, but they can't. And we've seen this time and time again. Every other Riverland Football League side, they would have been in their 50 arc by now. But Barmera and Monash, it is holding it in.
No time to get away with the footy, Renmark, at all. No time to get a kick away, not even a handball. It's just relentless pressure.
Taken without the footy, and the Roos are going to get rewarded with a free. And that's Sam Butterworth. Oh, no. Yep. I am mistaken.
No, that's definitely Butterworth.
Oh, no, it is Butterworth. Wasn't Aidan Hodgson.
Yep.
15 and 16 for those playing at home.
Butterworth kicks long inside 50. Freeman over the back. Nearly pulls in the guaranteed Grower Service Riverland mark of the day, but the ball's still in play. No, it's eventually gone now. It looks like it's going to be a throw in, but geez, he got up pretty high.
Jordan Freeman, he flew for the footy. The big man for the Roos. He's been pretty influential already today, and that would have been an absolute sealer for the mark of the day for Grower Services Riverland. Still in a dangerous spot for Barmera Monash here. Could capitalise and get the first one of this quarter. Ball in. Gartree wins the tap. Back towards the boundary line. Beavis is there first. Experienced campaigner for the Rovers. Handballs it off. Tim Wolford with the footy. And it's gone out of play, so we'll have another ball in. Umpire says something. I'm going to spot something out here, Ben. We're calling out a lot more Barmera Monash names than Renmark Rovers names today. We're calling out the Wolfords for the Rovers, Harry Beavis, Trevor Thorpe, and Gartree. And there's a few players that haven't had much of the footy today. Lellman a bit, but you know what? There's going to be more that lift.
No.
Butterworth out of the pack, kicks to the top of the square. Can Barmera Monash make something out of this? Trent Ogle, he's hungry for the footy. Brilliant tackle. Play on's the call. Ball still in play. The Roos are hungry for this, right in front of the Roo crew.
Yes. It's going to be a ball up just on that. You know who we haven't called too much?
Who's that?
Josh Vader.
Yes, the coach of the Renmark Rovers.
Normally every second word that comes out of our mouth is Vader, but not today so far, but I'm sure he'll inject himself into the contest pretty soon. Ball up. Deep inside 450 for the Roos, but it's going to spill out of play.
All in it is.
Repeat stoppages here, Lockie.
Yeah, just short of 5 minutes gone on the Murray Pest Control clock today. Third quarter Riverland Football League action on 5RM. 21 plays 10. It's the Roos with the lead. Ball over the back of the contest. Trent Ogle roves it well. A wobbly kick towards goals. It's drifting, and it's a minus score.
Nearly trickled past everyone. Almost on target from Ogle.
Nearly the wrong'un.
Yes. So Matt Wolford now with the footy for the Rovers. Former Loxton North Panther for 1 year, won the flag and said, no, trading the different colour of blue. And he kicks long and strong to Harry Beavis on the far side, right in front of the clubhouse. Gives a quick handball. Dan Wolford now.
Yeah, there's Josh Vader around the footy, but he's still to get his hands on it. Jake Smith takes on 4 Rovers.
Here we go.
Manages Whitbourne, great tackle. And the Roos through Trent Ogle get a kick away.
Anspatch now tries to collect for the Rovers right in front of us here.
Trent Ogle tackle. Great stuff, but without the footy, you can't really question Trent Ogle's attack on the footy there.
Bit of a wry smile from Jake Anspatch there. Kicks it to Dane Austin.
Nobby Norton is back from his shovel sod turning ceremony. We'll get the latest from that very soon, but we'll just watch this for a second. We've got Austin with the footy. It's Dane. Small kick up the line and all is drifting wide, but finds Wolford, and that's Matt.
So Matt Wolford with the footy in front of the Renmark bench and in front of the Renmark supporters as well. Left foot goes long, inside 50. Lockie Lellman's there, but 3 or 4 Roos surround the footy and punch it over the line.
Yeah, another name that's dropped off a little bit from us who we'd called out a lot early is Harrison Brown. Now, he was doing a lot in the centre for the Rovers, Ben, but haven't seen him too much of late.
Oh, he's so important in that transition, but Renmark really haven't been able to break out and get their wingmen into the game or anything like that. Even the flankers are finding it a little bit hard, so he's sort of drifted out of the play a bit.
Boys, I just had a bit of a walk past the Renmark huddle and a bit of a complaint about the free kick ratio, 8-1 the last quarter, but I felt like turning around. I didn't say it, but I felt like saying if you're first to the ball, the opposite putting on so much pressure, it's going to happen.
It's one of my pet peeves, Nobby. People think that the free kick count needs to be even for some reason.
Matter of fact, sometimes it can tell you which team's going tackling better.
Yeah, it's not an everyone gets a prize award.
No.
No. There's a kick, boys, out of the pack by Haynes again.
And it's wobbling through for a minus score. Yeah, it's one of my pet peeves too. It's not like there's 20 kicks for each club at the start of each game and you're going to get them throughout the game.
On the money, Lockie.
Yep. I can tell you, umpires have not got enough time to conspire and go, right, we're going to give one team 13 today and the other team 3.
Jack Sullivan with the ball, hasn't he been influential today?
Yeah, good
Taking
player.
A lot of marks across half-back. It's a big switch of play here to Dylan Millard.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of time. Nathan Zunic took a tumble for the Rovers, but the Maroons have still got the footy.
This next kick's important, fellas.
Somewhat tripped on Sam Butterworth there. Oh, they
Big
all flew
punch.
up. Harry Beavis punches forward. Can the Rovers make something out of this? Handball over. Lockie Lellman. He was pushed to the boundary. Got a handball back in board. Umpire says holding the ball. Yeah. And that's been the story of the Rovers
what's
day.
The rule there, fellas? Second time round, it's holding the ball after you do 360 once.
Well, you can't throw it as well. That's part of it.
Butterworth now.
Uncharacteristic turnover. Sam Butterworth. Jared Rowe hunting the footy. Handballs to Haynes. Lockie Lellman coming through on goal, and the Rovers are back.
Boy, there's the X factor. There he is, Jared Rowe. That's the X factor for Renmark today.
I've just seen Declan Johnson try and congratulate his side like he's taken the tumble. But regardless, look at that second effort from Lellman. Gives away the free kick on the flank, and all of a sudden he's found a way back into the play and kicks the goal, and an important one for the Rovers. 2 goals, 5-17. Just quickly, Nobby plays Barmera Monash. 3 goals, 4-22 on the Aquatic Week Control Australia scoreboard.
Tell you what, boys, those 2 goals that Renmark have kicked have both been off errors from Barmera Monash, where they brought the ball back into the middle too soon and allowed the turnover in a dangerous place.
Josh Vader lining up on a forward flank here at the moment. Might just be trying something different. He's actually lining up on Fraser Sampson. So the 2 coaches going head-to-head.
Maybe he's trying to find out what his next move is, Ben.
They've put Rowe into the middle, and Wolford, that's Tim, gets the clearance.
Here
They drive it up to half forward, and just on cue, Josh Vader turns the boundary, but he fell over, tackled by Fraser Sampson. This will be holding the ball, will it? No
He
prior.
actually got a handball, but he handballed it into Sampson and bounced straight back to him. So technically, he probably didn't have prior.
Well spotted, Ben Lennon. Great contest coming up there on that in that half-forward flank.
Anything else you need to know, mate? Just give me a heads up.
This is 5RM football, thanks to Nippies. The grand final, 2023.
You do not get away from the junkyard dog.
He pounced on Tim Wolford there. So a ball up just outside 50 for the Rovers. Zach Gartree in the ruck. Big tap. Matt Wolford's there hunting it, but can't pick it up again. The pressure from Barmera just causing Renmark to be a little bit sloppy, and ball spills over the line.
Look, it's an interesting matchup on Matt Wolford because Trent Ogle and here we go. There's the turnover.
Josh Vader's hung it to the left and kicked the point.
So Matt Wolford's been manned up all day between Trent Ogle and Jack Albrick.
Yep.
So the coach has given the job to the Kingston-on-Murray lads.
It's probably not...
Nobby, I was about to do a bingo card this week for you, and I was about to put in former Marook Kingston Warrior, and you've nailed it already.
Well, there he is. Trent Ogle, son of former Kingston captain Elton Ogle and Jack Albrick.
There's no other defunct football clubs that get as many mentions as Marook Kingston. Ball now back into the attacking 50 for the Rovers. Haynes got the mark, but it wasn't maybe it wasn't a mark. And
can you feel the momentum shifting here, Ben?
Yeah, this is a pivotal moment in the game.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
There's too many costly errors though, Nobby.
Yep.
I'm not seeing it. Renmark, you're right, are getting a bit more of it, but
I'm seeing the scoreboard that tells me if Renmark kick the next goal, they're in front.
Barmera
Very
Monash
true.
clear it out to the boundary. Jared Rowe, that's 1 onto 4, and taken over the line.
He knew exactly where he was going there.
It's the same old scenario, fellas. You've got to kick 5 to beat Renmark. So far, they've only got 2.
Beat Barmera, rather.
Beat Barmera, sorry.
That's right.
Sorry, Ben.
No, you're right, though, absolutely. And you know what? They're almost halfway there, the Rovers.
Ball in, still inside the 50. The Rovers try to work this one forward. Couple of quick hands, but it's Barmera Monash that clear it out. It's now up to centre wing. Can Reece Lehman run under the footy? He couldn't pick it up.
The Rovers try to with the one-handed pick
but the tackling pressure from Barmera Monash subsequent to that has held it there.
Gartree just let him run then. Content to play a kick behind is Big Zach, but he's going to be in the ruck contest here as we've got the ball up on the far side. Gartree wins it uncontested straight down to Tim Wolford, but he's wrapped up immediately, gets a kick away. There's a lot of bodies in there, and it's going to be another ball up.
Some of the matchups around the ball, fellas, pretty obvious to see. Jake Smith going with Tim Wolford, strength for strength, about on par. And I think that's, here's Wolford. No, couldn't get out with it. So who has it? Jake Smith. Yep.
Both have seen plenty of the footy.
Yeah. I think it's only happened since half-time, more that one, Ben.
So another stoppage. Can Barmera Monash work something out of this? The Roos take it to ground. Still a hot footy. Alston in there, that's Dane. He got a wobbly old kick away, but Trent Ogle for the Roos gets a handball out. Spilios got a wobbly old kick forward. Wilden, handball to Jamison Whitbourne. The Roos are now on the attack. Who can they see up forward? Trevor Thorpe for the Rovers tries to defend it. The Roos take the footy to ground. Lehman now to the footy for the Roos. Handball out the front. There's Butterworth, the state country representative. Centres the footy. Sees the target. Unable to mark it was Patrolway. But the ball now well into the Roos territory.
Geez, Reece Lehman did well there.
Yeah.
Able to create a contest, rove his own footy and get it out to one of the best users in the
Renmark
comp.
player on the ground. I think it could be Matt Wolford, boys.
Yeah, he was in that contest.
Might have caught one in the bottom drawer, I reckon.
It is Matt Wolford just having a look, just taking a bit of time to get up. Josh Vader's telling him, mate.
I was just about to say, fellas,
We need
that
you.
is the only place Matt Wolford's vulnerable is in a marking contest one-on-one when you can stand next to him and outbody him.
So what, he's pretty hard at it too, Matt Wolford.
He's been thrown onto the ball.
Yep.
Yep, need to get him in the game a bit more. Sets up so much for the Rovers, but dangerous spot here. Ball up in the middle of the Barmera Monash 50. Gartry with a big punch out of the ruck. Gains a few metres. Vader's there to pounce on the footy, but Butterworth's right there with him.
Beautiful
A great
tackle.
tackle from Butterworth. And there's going to be a free kick toward, well, I think it's going to go to the Roos here.
Yeah, I think Barmera Monash have got it.
Yep, so it must have been against Vader potentially, or Whitbourne's got the footy.
That's Whitbourne with the footy. SDM running around the back,
Yeah,
trying to get the free.
he's
Trying to
lurking.
get the handball. He's
No,
not-
Renmark paying attention to him.
Nice kick.
Oh,
Nice
lovely
kick.
kick, and it's found Wilden. For the Barmera Monash Roos in the
He
pocket.
plays on.
Plays on.
Oh.
Wheels around.
With
Oh,
the 9-iron.
wobbly 9-iron kick.
Oh, great mark.
Yeah,
Jack
good,
Austin.
Good mark under pressure, boys, and that might just be the Growers Services Riverland mark of the day so far, but given the pressure he was under.
Knew there were bodies coming in there for sure. Ball comes out the back on the flank. Sullivan's there to clean up for the Roos and take it over the line, so it's going to be a throw in.
He's a contender for Riverland Steel, best on ground today, Jack Sullivan.
Ogle limping. I think he's got a calf or shin injury, fellas. Too young to pull a calf. Trent, you're not even old enough to know you got him.
Well, he does look a bit sore.
Hopefully he's back on board. Ball in. Taps forward.
Could be
Guard.
And he's got Brownie. If he wants him, he says no. I'm going to go myself. Kicks towards Alec Haynes.
Oh, he couldn't
Alex
mark
Haynes
it.
Doesn't quite mark it. Dylan Millard scrapping for the Roos. Panic stations, but he does well.
and-
You're right, Ben. Didn't take the right option, the coach there.
He had a couple of runners with him.
Yeah, that's been the story of Renmark's day. Every other game this year, we would have been calling another goal for Josh Vader.
Yep.
But that one, not.
Had an absolute panic, but the ball's still in dispute here. Rovers might get another crack at it. Mock comes away with the footy, clearing kick outside 50. It's a few metres. Tom Austin's there, though. Great body work from Austin.
Over Butterworth by the looks, fellas. That's not an easy task. And Renmark getting numbers at the ball and forward. Now, you have to say Lachlan Lellman's quarter in this Premiership quarter has been a good one. He's lifted.
Yep, he's got a bit of X factor.
He was going all right anyway, but he's actually taken it up a level.
So he's going to go back for a shot. He's going to be kicking from all of 50 out.
Okay, yeah, about 53 and a half, I reckon, Lucky.
I don't reckon this one would be in his range, but I could be mistaken. Oh, it sells the dummy. Kick over the top. Oh, spills forward. Unable to mark it.
He's a big barrel-chested man, Jack Austin. Potentially too big there. I think it's just bounced off of his pecs.
Which is why he should be putting his hands out in front of him.
Yes, they take it in front.
Yep.
But again, ball still inside full 50 for the Rovers. Ball up here. Austin doing the ruck work. Wins the tap down to Harrison Brown. Can't pick it up. Sullivan in there for the Roos. Gets what looked like a throw away, and the umpires penalised him.
Incorrect disposal. Dane Austin to receive the free kick.
Big Dane, he was the difference maker when these two first met this year at Barmera Monash. He had a blinder of a third quarter. Could he do the same here? He's going to kick from all of 50 metres.
Renmark Rovers veteran Trevor Thorpe coming to the bench for a spell, replaced by Mitchell Jenke.
Correct, and Drogamullah coming off for the Roos. Jake Smith coming on.
Gee, he didn't have much of a spell, the junkyard dog. They can't keep him away from it.
He's ready to go, as is Dane Austin now coming in to kick from 50 metres to put the Rovers in front, if you don't mind. Kicks on the way, not bad off the boot, shaping a little bit to the right.
And
Renmark Rovers whittling the margin down point by point,
yeah,
fellas.
I'm not sure it's the way to do it, Nobby.
it's a thrilling game. 17 minutes gone, third quarter on the Murray Pest Control clock. It's the Roos leading by 3.
Ben, it's sort of reminding me a little bit of the Crows' second premiership when North Melbourne kicked 8 goals, 22, and Went a miss.
I was tender age of 1, Nobby. It's not quite
You must have
front
heard
of
about
mind
it. You must have heard
for
about
me.
it since.
He hasn't got a VHS player to
It's
watch
the
him,
same,
Nobby. That's
same
the problem.
weekend as your 50th, was it not?
Tap over the line after the kick out, and this should be a free. No,
I think it
it's
was
gonna
my
be a ball in.
21st.
Oh,
Here we go, here we go.
So a ball in,
Tell you what,
70
though, I was
around
there.
from the
I was
Rovers
there.
goal. Gartree and Wellington. Tap forward from Gartree. Doesn't go too far. Couple of quick handballs. Umpire's seen something though, and we're going to get another stoppage.
Oh, I think
Free kick.
maybe the 8-1 free kicks last quarter has been mentioned, and there's a square up on.
Well, you got to make it even. Lockie Lellman now kicks inside 50 for the Rovers. Big fly from Alex Haynes. Nothing doing though. Kel Marath is in there. He's been tackled straight away though. Good luck getting the handball out there. Ball up.
Boys, what you do notice in this quarter is Renmark getting numbers to the ball and Barmera not having the ascendancy in numbers around the footy like they had in the first 2 quarters.
Most of the footy played in the Renmark forward half, must be said, but Barmera always dangerous on the counter.
Oh, Vader out to Lellman. Lellman, wild kick at goal. Well, the range of the goals, and that's out in the full.
Jeez, he's
peppering away.
racking up the posies, though,
Yeah.
Lockie Lellman.
Getting a lot of the footy, but
And
Yeah,
the ticks for the Murray Pioneer Trophy too, Ben, by the way, although I'm not
Potentially.
looking at your card. But
not going to reveal anything just yet.
right.
A few people collaborating to make sure we get the decision right.
So the
Yeah.
voting slips have been sent out, and you're
They're all
just
good.
going to add them up.
The point man, yep.
Good
it's all
man.
good.
That's the way to do it.
Got the Riverland still
Normally
best
we
on
do that
ground
to
too.
you.
Kick out from the Roos. Sullivan was the target. The Rovers through Austin trying to work it back, but taken over the line, and we might see a bit of, is this, we're going to see something here? Yeah. Both teams just having a bit of a mention to
It
each
was
other.
a fairly crude attempt, but no contact made.
Ball's going to come in regardless, so while everyone's watching that, the ball is back in play, and the Rovers have a few uncontested players, but Jake Smith flying the flag for the Roos, pounces on Harrison Brown straight away, so another ball up.
Big temptation here, fellas, for the umpire to call one just to break up play. Not saying it's going to happen, but don't be surprised.
Wilden just coming off for a rest. Trent Ogle back on for the Roos. They lead by 3.
He's had that ankle strap, Trent.
Whitbourne now with the clearance. Gets it out to Albrecht. Albrecht, small kick back
See,
inboard, but it's
Ogle,
been
they
picked
had
up by
numbers
the
wide.
Rovers. Thorpe to Matt Wolford. Wolford now looking to drive this one into the attacking 50. Small kick up. Oh, great intercept work from the Barmera Monash Roos, taking the ground, and we've seen this time and time again.
Look, fellas,
Barmera's defensive pressure is bigger than a
both
Caterpillar
sides
bulldozer.
making mistakes when the decisions when they got the football. Is it the pressure that's on out there, fellas? 'Cause
Oh,
at
it's gotta
ground-
be, yeah,
At
100%.
ground level, it really is on.
Well, when Matt Wolford's been worn like a glove all day, all of a sudden he has 5 to 10 metres, but he's used to having that body, so it's
Yeah.
that perceived pressure. He 10 times out of 10 he hits that kick.
Oh,
This is the
Jamison Whitbourne, great tackle on Lellman, holding the ball.
And a little bit of advice to umpire Kasoki, which he didn't need. So that takes the ball 25 yards closer to
Tell
the
you what.
Barmera Monash goals.
Jamison Whitbourne certainly a contender for the young charger this afternoon.
Oh, here's the turnover, fellas. What were we just talking about?
Well, luckily for Barmera Monash, Harrison Brown has slipped, but he's bounced back to get the footy.
Oh.
Great work from Harrison Brown. Then he sees the switch in Matt Wolford. Trent Ogle's going to he's going to try and put a bit of pressure on. Just holds Wolford up. Pretty important there, because if Matt got that and went, the Rovers are away.
You can't stop that switch, can you? Both sides have been doing it and getting away
It's
with
more
it.
just as long as you've got numbers sort of down the ground and you can stop the next kick, that's probably what you need to do.
Yep.
Vader goes inboard over the head of a Barmera Monash player, but there's a couple there to mop up.
Couldn't quite get the handball out when he was tackled.
Umpire's seen something, and
It's
Renmark are
incorrect
going to get the
disposal.
free.
Incorrect disposal.
Lockie Lellman limping to the bench, not looking too good. Nathan Zunic going to come on and replace him. But meanwhile, on the ground, ball's gone deep inside 50. Jack Sullivan's there for the Roos.
See
Matt
the numbers,
Wolford.
fellas, at the ball. Renmark numbers at the ball again.
Alex Haynes,
Oh,
big
what a-
fly. Mark doesn't count. Went about 3 metres.
Another
gonna
stoppage
be wrapped
it
up.
is.
I think
15
it went
out from Renmark's
I think
goal.
it went to 15,
got
but it was 7 up,
Vertical.
7 down.
We were
Yeah,
very excited for no reason. Sorry, boys.
that's all right.
Approaching three-quarter time. The buzzer might beat him. 21 and a half minutes played. Third quarter Riverland football on 5RM. Barmera Monash trying to clear this one out. Their defence has been so good today so far. They lead by 3 on the
Points,
Aquatic
that
League
is.
Control
Points, that
Australia
is.
scoreboard. Yes, 3 behinds. Still crowd just as big as it was at the start of this game.
Free kick to Mitch Wellington out of the ruck contest.
He's just going to slow the play down there. He's sucking them in.
Now I didn't go through the.
Oh, no! A worm burner from Wellington. Puts his his teammate under a bit of pressure, and there's another turnover. Dane Austin can't pull in the mark, though. The Roos might yet get out of trouble here after a comedy of errors.
They're beaten by the siren. There it is, 3/4 time. It's the Barmera Monash Roos with the lead in the 2023 Grand Final. The fourth quarter to come right here at 5RM. Quarter time of the Riverland Football League Grand Final, 5RM, 3-4-22 to Renmark, 2-7-19. Lockie Wendell, Ben Lennon and Nobby Norton this afternoon. Ben Nobby has left us to, I'm not sure where he is at the moment, but either way.
Back to the sponsors.
Yes, not sure, but either way, look, the score may seem very low, but we were just chatting in the break. This has been a thrilling Riverland Football Grand Final.
Yeah, correct. 22, Barmera Monash plays 19, Renmark. So, yeah, not a lot in it, and not a lot in the way of goals. Not many contenders for the Surf to Suit Loxton goal of the day, if you don't mind. But, yeah, like you said, mate, it's been pretty tense from both teams. And I don't know if you can hear it on the crowd mics, but the Barmera Monash huddle is going bananas.
Oh,
they are
massive.
up and about the Roo crew.
It's massive. It's been a transformation this year at the Lakeside. They've had three other sides in the grand final today already. It really is a lot of good energy coming out of the Lakeside.
It's vibes central, Lockie. Absolutely. But look, big huddle for Renmark as well. They've got a 3-point deficit to overturn here. Can they do it in this last quarter? Have they got it in the legs? Have Barmera Monash got it in their legs to keep the pressure on? It's a big last quarter, Lockie.
Renmark Rovers going for their 4th straight premiership. This is their 5th straight grand final. They didn't get the chocolates in that first one against Waikerie back in 2018, but they've been winners ever since. The Barmera Monash Roos, their last premiership was 2012, what seemed like a long time ago. Nobby Norton, who's gone back into the commentary box as we speak.
Shadowboxing.
There's still a couple of campaigners out there that played on that day in 2012. Justin Bonney, Jake Smith, and Dylan Millard.
Hey, Lockie, quick question to you, sort of seeing as you're our version of Bruce McAvaney. What is the lowest scoring AFL Grand Final ever?
Look, I unfortunately didn't pack the fantastic late David Dunhill books.
Well,
with
I
me
started
today.
asking people in the crowd, and all I could get was this one so far.
Yeah, I think if it stays sub 30, I reckon we're certainly on. Massive crowd here at Waikerie this afternoon. It's been a great year, Riverland football.
What a day for
We've
it.
seen.
Yeah.
We'll obviously recap the game after in the season that was, but let's settle up because this is a big fourth quarter here at Waikerie. Ball up in the centre. It's the Renmark Rovers that trail. Big tap forward. Jared Rowe and Jake Smith hard at the footy. But Trent Ogle for the Barmera Monash Roos gets his hands on it. Good handball to Butterworth. Butterworth kick up the ground. Josh Vader for the captain of the Rovers trying to get in as well. It's a hot, crazy footy as we've been calling it a bit this afternoon. Gartrey now gets his hands on it. Back to Brown. Handballs back inboard to Tim Wolford. And now this is the structured Rovers we've seen of old. Finds Kel Morath. He's had a bit of a quiet game today, it must be said. But maybe this fourth quarter might be the difference, Ben Lennon.
Yep, kicks long, inside 50, but there's only one man that's going to mark that for the end, and that's Michael Mock, who's got to be in the running for the best on ground.
Both he and Sullivan have done their best.
Oh, having said that, he's just been chased down and holding the ball was called against Mike.
Gee, the ump was a long way there, long way from that to see he didn't snick the ball with his boot.
Yeah, he might have got a toe on it, but regardless, big Alex Haynes has a chance to put Renmark in front, but boy, they take a fair kick from here, Nobby.
Yep, I think he's up for it. These are the sort of kicks that win games, win premierships. Ben.
Yep, there's a lot on this. Big smoke.
He's had a couple opportunities already today.
He has kicked one, roving out the back. This is a different proposition. He's going to have to kick from 50 metres on the dot. It's not a bad spot for a right footer, though.
Yeah,
not sure he's getting too much support from the Waikerie faithful, but the kick is
Lovely
on the way.
leg.
Looks pretty good. Alex Haynes.
Touched over the line. That would have been a shoo-in for the surf to suit goal of the day, but a minor score it is.
It's a good old-fashioned goalmouth scramble.
It also would have been a shoo-in for a goalmouth review if you're an AFL. But we were not talking about that, are we, fellas?
No arc here at Waikerie Oval today to refer to.
Butterworth takes the kick out, looks for Sam DiMichele, tap forward, finds Sullivan, looked for Fraser Sampson. He was held without the footy, found it to Wellington, and we'll have a stoppage on half-back for Barmera Monash.
Here we go. This is make or break here. This first 5 minutes, whoever can get on the board first is a massive step.
Renmark with numbers behind the ball, fellas. That being Brodie Rover loose behind the footy.
And he can move about quite well, old Broves. He's in a good spot there, but still the Rovers pressing. Barmera Monash holding up pretty well, as they have done all game.
Harry Beavis has called him back and become the extra man himself on the far side.
He is on the far side, but he's going to have to get to this contest, though.
Whitbourne get the clearance. It was Freeman that ran against the footy for the mark. He couldn't quite clunk it. Now it's the Rovers through Anspatch that clear it out.
Yeah, great play by
Dan
Renmark.
Wolford in the other pocket.
Expertly done by Harry Beavis.
Yep, it was.
And now it's found its way to Matt Wolford on the far wing, who just chips it up the line. Oh, good bit of spoil work there. Zunic that goes to ground. He tried to shake the footy, but he's been done holding the ball.
He's another one that needs to lift in this last quarter. Barely called his name.
That was a good call. He just put the ball on the ground, fellas. Realised he couldn't do anything with it and just put it down. I think he thought he was touching it down.
Hands up.
Barmera Monash take the kick up the line. They all flew up. No one able to mark it over the line. It goes.
Gee, Freeman made that contest down there as a 1-on-2, but the bit that impressed me was the halfback flanker from this side, who was standing Dan Wesley. Left Dan Wesley, did a big circle around and took possession of the ball.
Yeah, that's it.
Where was Wesley running with him, fellas?
Well, he's probably trying to get out the back in the case of a turnover, I would have thought. But it's Barmera Monash inside 50 here. Crunch time for both teams. It's DiMichele, snap from the pocket.
Fellas.
Couldn't be.
Oh,
Isn't.
Tapped over. It's still in board. It's still in. Tapped over the line. That would have been the goal of the day for Surf to Suit Loxton.
Surf to Suit Loxton written all over it, both sides of the ball.
Oh, forget about the goal of the day. That's a statue at Lakeside. That goes in. Absolutely.
I can see Sam DiMichele doing the commercials for Surf to Suit Loxton pretty soon. He's won it a few times this year.
Yeah. He's one of my favourites this year, Lockie. I like the way he goes about it.
Barmera Monash from the ball in. Rovers unable to clear it out. Barmera Monash, DiMichele again. Snap on goal.
SDM.
Minus score.
Takes the margin out to 3 points here at the Waikerie Oval. 3-5-23 to Renmark 2-8-20. Will that bad kicking for Renmark end up haunting them?
Well, has every chance. Only a quarter to go. Less so now. 5 minutes played.
I don't mind it when there's only one goal of difference because all of a sudden they become very handy points.
Rovers through Wolford, bring it back inboard. Looks for Tim. Tim not able to mark it. Dan got the crumbs.
Out to Vader.
And now the hungry Roos once again. There's Bonnie. He kicks into the 50. Can Druggermuller make something out of this? Mock rather it was, not Bonnie. Ogle got his hands on it, handballed straight into Harry Beavis from the Rovers. Marath now.
Needed to hold that in. Marath now the Roos are out. Jake Smith has found a free play. Matty Wilden spills the mark. What he should have taken, and Trevor Thorpe is going to pounce on him straight away. He'll not going anywhere.
Do you hear the crowd noise, boys?
It's up and about today at Waikerie.
Lovely leg from Jake the Junkyard Dog on his natural left foot.
Couldn't have done much more there. Yep. Just couldn't complete the mark, but the Roos still have a chance here.
These little errors are going to prove costly for both sides, I think.
Anspach coming off not looking the best.
Yeah, it doesn't come off too often either. He's normally pretty durable. Dan Wolford now with the footy clears the ball out, but it might come back in.
Here's Bonnie. He tries to work through the wall.
Back goes Albrecht.
Druggermuller. Sends the footy. Harry Beavis for the Rovers got his hands on it, and the Rovers clear it out. But here's Mock in the middle. Can he mark this? He can't. Can the Rovers work something out of this? Morgan Edwards gets his hands on it. No one wants it. Jared Rowe gets it back. Back to Edwards. Kicks up the line. Who's home? Haynes. Punch forward from Millard. Zunic bumped without the footy. He's still on the deck. And Fraser Sampson for the Roos clears it out.
To no one, but three Renmark players.
Dan Wolford trying to pick the footy up.
Di Michelle dives on the footy.
Throws his weight around, but the Rovers still have the footy. Josh Vader gives it back to the Willis medalist. Dan Wolford tries to go past one, but what a tackle.
What a tackle from that Marook Kingston warrior.
Huge moment there for the Roos. You had to slip the Marook Kingston in. Haven't played a game in a decade, Nobby.
The club rooms might be going soon.
Used to do a lot of tackling out there when Shane Uren was the coach of those Colts, and young Ogle was playing for him.
Trent Ogle, what a tackle. Mate, but turned it straight over. Tom Austin's taking the mark here for the Rovers, so it's going to come back in. God, what a moment. Something in the air, boys. This is good. This is good.
Not going to be a draw, is it?
Don't.
The Rovers tail in the attacking 50. There's Haynes. And
Barmera coming away.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Frank Sampson kicks the ball through the middle of the park. Whitbourne's there, the hunt. So is Jake Smith, but Jared Rowe. Drogamala, actually, it is.
This game's lifted a peg in this fourth quarter. It's the Roos with the lead, 3-5-23, leading the Renmark Rovers 2-8-20.
It's almost like next goal wins, isn't it, fellas?
Well, when you've only had 5 for the game.
Out to Drogamala. Kick into the 50 for the Roos. Can Freeman get this one? I think he's going to be beaten by his opponent, Rover.
He never stops running, Freeman. Well, you were saying it earlier, Ben, what a motor he had. And
yeah, absolutely. Well,
he's still firing away on all 8.
Hayden Hodgson coming on for the Roos here. Butterworth just having a bit of a breather.
On comes Reece Lehman for Mitch Wellington. Don't think that's the last we're going to see of Wellington yet today, fellas. Even though we're only at the 6-minute mark of the last quarter. Plenty to go.
Yep. Well, the footy left to be played. Rovers try and clear the ball out. There's a couple of Roos hanging around this one, though. Sampson's there for the handball received, but the Roos can't get it out. It's wrapped up. And it's going to be a ball up just outside the centre square and on the wing.
It's almost like Barmera Monash have fought back from that pressure Renmark have and even the score. Now it's an arm wrestle again.
Done pretty well, the Roos, to stand up to this Renmark pressure that's come in the third and fourth quarter, but it's now or never for both teams. A couple of repeat stoppages here.
Looking for that player, Ben, that's going to break this game open from either side. Is it Jared Rowe?
Yeah, well, he's definitely got the ability. He knows his way around the goals.
Or is it Ben Druggermuller for the Roos?
Could be. I've got my 2 cents is Di Michelle might just kick the sealer at some point here.
SDM.
But for the Rovers, they've got a few match winners as well. Lockie Lellman, we said, worked his way into the contest. Declan Johnson hasn't seen too much of it, but he's a good leg and a good young kid playing in his first.
He doesn't need a lot of opportunities to hit the scoreboard.
That's exactly right.
Gartree, big tap forward. And now the Rovers get the clearance into their attacking 50. They've got to make something out of this. Can someone take the mark? They can't.
Oh, Sullivan again.
And the Roos clear it out. Hodgson the target. Taps forward. Spilios will run onto it well.
He's a left footer.
He's got the motor. Kicks down the line. Sees Lehman. Great mark from Reece Lehman.
Good hands. Full stretch there, Reece Lehman. Well done.
Ship over the top. He's got Wilden. Can he mark it? Oh, round the back was Sam Di Michelle, who's coming into contention for the mark of the day. Kicks to the top of the square. And there it is. Barmera Monash.
I'll tell you what, boys, everything about the footy said that Di Michelle should have protected the back of Wilden, let Wilden take the mark, but he said, no, boys, I'm taking charge of this game.
That's when you know.
I'm marking it and I'm moving it on and we're going to score.
Wesley with the footy.
Yep.
Directly in front.
Kick from 20 metres out.
How's he going with this?
Oh, boy.
How's he going with this?
Well, you'd hope quite well. Yeah, dead in front.
Young
Wesley
player, but sometimes it doesn't worry these young fellas.
What a moment. Wesley kicks true and the Roos are up. 29 points to 20. It's a massive moment.
What a day it is.
So here we are, fellas, the equation, and this is by far from over. But we now have the Renmark Rovers needing 2 goals to win the game, and they've only kicked 2 goals for the game.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much when you spell it out, but when you put it that way, mates, it's going to take some doing.
But if Barmera go into a defensive mode and try and save the game, that will play straight into Renmark's hands.
You don't want to invite too much pressure. There's still so much time left on the Murray Pest Control clock, that's for sure.
Best way to win this game and beat Renmark is kick another goal, not try and hold them off.
Absolutely.
Ball back to the centre. Umpire Todd Shelton throws it up. Freeman, good tap over the top. Can Barmera Monash run onto this one? Di Michelle gets the kick away into the attacking 50. Who's going to mark this one? Punch forward. Good bit of defence from Renmark Rovers. Can Barmera Monash make something of this? Wesley gets his hands on it again. Kicks up to Lehman. This is wobbling towards the goal.
They'll be looking for out of bounds here,
Out of bounds.
They've got it.
Didn't quite get the wrong and right there off the foot. Damn, Wesley.
You called it, fellas. SDM being potentially the game breaker.
Well, he's had 2 pretty important touches in quick succession.
Only just 10 minutes gone on the Murray Pest Control clock here, though, fellas. Plenty of time.
Matty Wilton's been done LBW there.
Yep.
Scramble. Matt Wolford's got the footy. Wesley lays the tackle. Beavis is in there. He cops one high, potentially.
Big tackle.
All up.
See, unlike Wolford, braced himself for the bump and the tackle there, where normally he'd be gone with the footy.
Well, that's just that perceived pressure, Nobby.
Yeah.
100% he's been run with all day.
Tackle again from Barmera Monash. Holding the ball.
Fellas,
And they'll get another free in their attacking 50.
I was just about to say, if Barmera Monash win this game, it goes down to one thing: tackling pressure.
This has been relentless from the Roos. Who have we got here, Lockie?
It's Petrole.
Max Petrole.
Oh, here we go, another Marook Kingston Colt, fellas. Out of early days there.
This is huge. Make no mistake, this is huge. This to go 15 points up. Roos, Petrole. Kick on the way. High.
He likes
it.
So do Barmera. They're up, fellas.
And the Roo crew has gone berserk. 15-point margin. To the Barmera Monash Roos, 35 points, plays Renmark 20. A lot to do for the Rovers.
Tell you what, Barwell Avenue might be a bit quiet right now, but
look out. Look out.
This stays the way it is. It's going to be pretty noisy tonight.
Contrast, Renmark supporters quiet at the moment. There's still time.
That's Petrole's second goal, fellas. The only multiple goal kicker on the ground. Goal kickers for Barmera Monash so far: Petrole 2, singles to Wielden, Wesley and Drugamilla. For Renmark, Lelman with 1, Haynes with 1. They need goals, and they need them quickly.
They do. Needs to come now for the Rovers. Needs a big clearance here. The guns are in there.
Yep, the A-team's back.
We've got a bit of Dane Austin in the middle as well. A bit of size around the ball. Ball goes up. No one wins the tap. Gartry's going to try and rove his own tap here.
Trent Ogle hard at the footy off the wing, but it's found Butterworth. He gets the kick away up to half forward. Couldn't mark it, was Aidan Hodgson. Now the Rovers. They're going to need something quick. Tim Wolford got a hand away. Found it. Its way to half forward. There's Zune.
That's Brown. Gee, he's had a heck of a game too.
Goes inboard. Di Michelle sitting under it. And what a mark!
That's the mark of the day for Grower Services Riverland.
SDM turning it on.
There he is, Ben. You called it. SDM to step up and take hold of the game.
Didn't think he'd be at this end of the ground, Nobby, but he's done well floating back there. But he's mishit the kick. Bit of a task for Aidan Hodgson here.
I don't think it matters because it's over the line and they're going to wind more time out of this game.
12 and a half minutes gone on the Murray Pest Control clock. There's still plenty left. But I reckon we're about halfway.
Dylan Millard coming to the bench here, limping off.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see him back, fellas.
Possibly a calf.
What a story that is. Come back to the Boyhood Club.
Yep.
Potentially playing the Premiership here, but still.
Freeman on. Not a bad replacement, fellas.
He's not a born defender, though, Freeman. You lose a bit of experience there in Millard, particularly with this game ticking down.
Yeah, Renmark getting the free kick at half forward. No, umpire ball up.
They got Sullivan back at full back. I think that's the smart move with Millard, the way that's gone there. So Sullivan's going to have to be the general this quarter down there. The rest of it.
Goal here makes it interesting, but nothing doing for the Rovers just yet.
Gee whiz, fellas, just a little bit of silence here before the next explosion. You can just sense it, can't you?
I have no investment in either of these clubs, but I am on edge. Not
D. Michelle again with the ball out of the pack. Roosts it forward. No one will be marking this,
That
surely.
is straight up hit the moon.
Yep. Here we go. Barmera come out. D. Michelle again with a handball forward. This time he finds Hodgson. Hodgson on the wing. Screws the ball forward to a one-on-one, and a nice mark taken by Reece Lehman, I reckon, fellas.
Yeah, it is Lehman, it is.
Well, there's a switch on here if they want it, but it might be a dangerous option. Instead goes short inside 50. Whipwan's the target.
Ball taken to ground. Renmark Rovers working overtime. There's Harry Beavis.
Oh, got
handball
dropped.
over the top. There was Brody Rover. Kelmer Rath now trying to work this one out. He was taken to ground. And that'll be a
Gee whiz, fellas,
stoppage.
on the back of that tackling pressure of Barmera Monash, you cannot fault their forward line pressure they've put on their Renmark defenders and not giving them an easy out, which is where they score a lot of goals from.
Ball in. 70 around from Barmera's goal. Waikerie this afternoon, 5 AM football. Thanks to the Berry Hotel.
Here we go. Another Barmera player sort of
It's
hobbling.
Aiden Lyon.
However, not a bad replacement, Benny Drugamuller.
Yeah, it's 2 defenders down, though.
Yeah.
14 and a half minutes gone.
So Bonnie to full back in Millard's place, I think, fellas.
Yep.
Another stoppage. This is what Barmera Monash will need. Just if they could just ride this out like this for the next 10 minutes, they're going to win the grand final.
Bonnie's up on
Sullivan.
Lelman.
Sullivan's got the big job on Alex Haynes, but ball nowhere near the Renmark forward at the moment.
Bonnie's
Trapped on that
come
far
up to lock down Lockie Lelman, who's a very dangerous player and potentially the Renmark X Factor.
So now or never for the Rovers.
Zunic, they need something from Zuma.
Barmera crowd is lifted.
Oh,
Chants going around the ground. Nothing doing from the Rovers fans.
tell you what, fellas, the Barmy Army have got nothing on the Barmy
mate.
Roos.
I tell you what, the way this club has transformed in the last few years, the amount of supporters, the junior clubs and everything else going on at the Lakeside, it's going to be a pumping place for a few years to come, regardless of the result in today's game.
No less so than tonight, mate.
So 5-5-35 plays 2-8-20 on the scoreboard, the Aquatic Weed Control Australia scoreboard. This could be. I tell you what, one more goal to Barmera. I'm going to say it, fellas. One more goal to Barmera. Here he is again, fellas. SDM. Gee, Ben, any of those people picking this award, forget your cards. It's whoever has the greatest impact on the game and on the victory. And here he is.
Has been enormous. Yep. SDM.
Now, the Riverland Steel Best on ground, I couldn't actually find the card in my desk, so whoever does get it will get it at some stage. I promise we haven't spent it.
You were genuinely so prepared for today.
It's probably in one of the 18 cases I brought down today.
You sure you haven't got a new Black & Decker or
something? No, we haven't got any new Milwaukee stuff kicking around.
Yeah, new Milwaukee stuff.
Meanwhile, Team Michelle.
Half forward. What can the Renmark Rovers do? Time's running out in this 2023 grand final.
Boys, I know you are not of this vintage of me, but Lockie, you may have heard the stories because you've been out Pantherland. SDM reminds me so much of Jason Keys, who used to play for Loxton North. The effect he can have on a big game, same size, same tack, same use of the footy.
Big game player, that's
and
for sure.
Jason Keys is the uncle of Ben Keys, so there you go, fellas.
Ball now through the middle. Lockie Lelman for the Rovers. Looks for Harrison Brown. He's played a big game.
Yeah, what a game he's played.
Made him earn it though, Mike Mock.
Yeah. Handball
they're
out
not done
to
yet,
Rowe.
fellas. They are not done yet.
Rowe up the line. Looks for Haynes. Haynes, the
strong.
big push off, and that's a good mark.
Too strong, Alex Haynes, so he needs to do this quickly because the Rovers are running out of time, but should he convert?
This is as a result of Barmera Monash losing Millard to the bench.
Or the Roo crew is being wound up deluxe. Here we go. Alex Haynes with all the pressure in the world. Kicks pretty well though.
That's a goal.
He likes it.
Margin back to 9 points, fellas.
A really lacklustre celebration from Haynes. Probably knows there's not much time left, but the Rovers, they've got a lifeline.
And that is his second goal of the day too, so he's done his bit up forward.
An important goal too on what could be the goal of the day for Surf to Suit Loxton.
There's an old saying, fellas. The little fellas might get a little bit, the fast might get a little bit slower in the last quarter, but big fellas like Haynes, they don't get any shorter.
He pushed off his opponent like a feather there too. Yep. He's a big guy, Alex Haynes. Strong-bodied.
Can he win the game for the Rovers?
Well, time is running out. Over 18 minutes gone on the Murray Pest Control clock. Renmark Rovers going for 4 straight premierships. It's Gartree that takes the tap. Josh Vader, the coach. Can he win the game for himself? Gets the clearance. Kicks up to the 50 arc. No one marks it. Ball spills out the back. Fraser Sampson, the coach of the Barmera Monash Roos, paddles it sideways, but it's found Nathan Zunic, who's come back into the side today. He goes to ground. There's a couple of players down behind play here too, and we got another stoppage. as more time runs out in this game.
Thomas Austin and I reckon it might be Michael Mock
Yeah,
again.
Mock.
He's been on the ground more times than an opponent of Muhammad Ali's, fellas.
Yes, he's
But he
copped a
keeps-
few heavy hits, but you're right. Keeps back up, the
bouncing
skipper.
up. Here's a free kick to Barmera Monash. Once again, boys, holding the ball decision against Renmark. That tackling pressure's back. And who's got it? Perhaps their best tackler, the junkyard dog himself.
9 points the margin here at Waikerie Oval. Not much time left on the Murray Pest Control clock. Time running out for the Rovers. The ball's punched over the line, so we'll get a ball in.
Renmark need 2 goals. I reckon it's 19-minute mark on the Murray Pest Control clock. So I reckon they need 2 goals in 5 minutes. I reckon there's 5 minutes left.
Okay.
35 plays 26.
I was waiting for the siren to go right now.
Yeah. I haven't told you this yet, Nobby, but I went through some archives at work and
Here's a kick in from
just watch this. Oh, that is a great
Sampson.
mark.
Here he is.
Oh, boy.
Now the coach is going to step forward and say, hang on, boys, I got your backs.
That's not a moment. I don't know what is.
Yep.
Stands tall as Fraser Sampson, kicks towards the wing. Might even be a mark here that's been plucked by Whitbourne. What?
Yeah.
It's done well there.
It's been paid.
Tell you what, fellas, that is not the Growers Service Riverland mark of the day, but it might be the most important mark of this quarter.
Certainly a big game, that's for sure. The 2023 Grand Final, Riverland Football League on 5RM. Small kick back inboard to Wilden. Can they start winding the clock down now, Nobby?
No.
Just 20 minutes gone. Fourth quarter.
But what you can do is not give them back the football, which is what they're trying to do here.
Small kick sideways to Bonnie. I didn't tell you this, Nobby, but I managed to dive through some archives at work this week, and I found, let's just say, a couple of audio treats.
Uh-oh. Safe to air?
Yes, with a little bit of modification, I could.
Very good.
Boys, I overlooked earlier in the game that Justin Bonney's an ex-former Warrior Colt as well.
I'll tell you what, Nobby, the amount of references they've got, they might be forming a side up next year.
I don't know why we didn't look for a sponsor from out Marook Kingston Way, just perhaps for the best Marook Kingston player.
There is 2 minutes to go in the RFL Grand Final, and you've worked Marook Kingston into the main storyline.
We could have had an award.
Well, we do have Nippies on board today, Nobby, for our Grand Final sponsor.
Jeff would be more than happy to put forward, Jeff or Ben, to put forward an award for the best Marook Kingston original player.
You could have a presentation night every year for a club that doesn't exist, Nobby.
Play on.
The Rovers now with the foot in the middle. It's Rowe. Time running out.
I'd say the
handballs
clock's
to
be,
Thorpe.
Clock's become an opponent. Oh, not a good kick from Trevor Thorpe.
Oh, big hit from Kel Marath. The Rovers are off here. They got a chance. Morgan Edwards kicks it long. Smokey Haynes is under the footy. Bang! Big punch by the Roos. Josh Vader, the coach, spins out of one. And who's there to tackle him? Fraser Sampson. Take a bow, Frankie.
There it is.
Fellas, little question for you. If a player grips hold of the ball, takes a couple of steps, back turns, and then gets tackled and can't get rid of it, what is the call?
Well, in this case, mate, it is a ball up. But I take your point. Play underway again. Vader coming away with the footy. Can he do it himself? The Renmark coach doesn't quite get the kick away that he wanted, and there the mop up. Big Freeman has a look at the Roy crew. They have a look back.
He's a left footer. Dump it as long as he can down the boundary line.
I don't think he can kick it from here.
No, but he needs to dump it out wide.
That's exactly. Oh, he's probably gone a little bit too inboard. Trevor!
He flew up.
And a bit.
There it is, fella. Roo Beauty.
How happy are they? Look at them.
The Roo crew is up and they are about, and the Roos are the 2023 RFL A-grade premiers. Look at them celebrate, Nobby.
5-5-35, beating the Renmark Rovers 3-8-26.
It's been a big era for the Rovers, but today it's been all Roos. And the side from the Lakeside takes the premiership.
A 9-point victory to the Roos, and you've got to say, fellas, like, we've watched them all year. They've come from a side that were just miserly, just made sure they weren't getting beaten by much, and gradually worked their way through to get quite a potent attack around the back of some of their young fellas, like Max Petrole, 2 goals, has stepped up in the last month or round. And SDM, of course, well, gee whiz, Ben, I think, I don't know, I don't want to predict anything, but I think he'd be pretty hard to toss for the Murray Pioneer trophy.
He's certainly up there. Just drink this in, boys. What a moment. What a moment for this footy club. They've had every single junior grade in the grand final today. Bees miss out, but the ones come out on top. 3 grand finals, 3 premiership cups belong on Lakeside. Incredible moment for this footy club.
Nobby, if everything works here, I promised you an audio treat, and once again, I tried my hardest to fix this audio, but here we go.
Sing along if you know the words.
I don't.
There it is, a win for the Barmera Monash Roos in the 2023 Grand Final. And there it is, the iconic song.
What a game. Look, goal kickers for, once again, the scores. Barmera Monash 5-5-35, beating Renmark Rovers 3-8-26, a 9-point victory to Barmera Monash, who led from barrier to box. So never really gave the Rovers a chance. It was on the back of tackling pressure and pressure along there on the defenders from Renmark, so they couldn't get that rebound. Goal kickers for Barmera Monash, Max Petrole 2, Matthew Wilden 1, Dan Wesley 1, and Ben Drugamuller 1. For Renmark Rovers, Alex Haynes with 2, and he did his best up forward all day. He can hold his head high. And Lachlan Lillman 1. Look, I don't know who's going to win the medal, but I can give you some best players from both sides in no particular order. Vader did his best in the last quarter to try and lift him. I thought Jared Rowe was an X-factor. Lockie Lellman, he was good for him all day. Harrison Brown as well, he was a fantastic four-quarter player. Tim Wolford, Dan Wolford, they had their moments. So did Gartery, Dane Austin, and of course Alex Hayne with a couple of goals. For Barmera Monash, well, they all did a bit, and that's normally what happens with a winning side. But I thought the pick of their best players was probably Spilius did a bit. I thought SDM did Sam DiMichele. Did I get it right?
No, you didn't.
Sam DiMichele.
But you had a crack, and that's what counts.
You know what? We're gonna have an interview.
One more time. I thought Butterworth, Hodgson were good. Whipborn was good all day. Mock did his best. Sampson, the coach, was good. Petrole, I've mentioned. And Jack Sullivan, what a great game he played in the back line. So, as you can tell, fellas, probably it was more the team effort and the team pressure put on by Barmera Monash that was the difference. But when you say the difference, only 9 points. Had Renmark kicked a little bit more accurately, we might have had a draw, fellas.
Yep, certainly a phenomenal day, and it's the Barmera Monash Roos, the first premiership since 2012. They've been criticised a bit for their structured and sometimes called maybe boring style of football, but boring footy doesn't matter when you've won a premiership, Ben Lennon.
Oh, mate, look at this. Look at the Roo crew around there, boys. What a fantastic achievement for this footy club, and Fraser Sampson will be the first to tell you this is a group effort. This is an absolute group effort from top to bottom. You've got the 13s. Women's team had a fantastic year. 15s playing the grand final. 18s win the flag and the A's go top. What a remarkable day at Waikerie Oval, and so many strong contributors today. It's been a bit of a case for them in the last 2 months of footy. They've hit their straps at the right time of year. Yes, they weren't the best for the whole year, but they're the best at the end of the year, and that's when it counts, Lockie. Yep,
no passengers in the Barmera Monash side, that's for sure. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to recap the presentations and everything else that's going on here at Waikerie. But just joining us today, it's the Barmera Monash Roos winning the Riverland Football League 2023 Grand Final. Waikerie Oval for the 2023 Riverland Football League Grand Final. It's a happy night. Well, it's going to be at the Lakeside. Barmera Monash winning the Grand Final, their first Grand Final appearance since 2016, their first win since 2012, and they have the chocolates. There is a sea of double blue on the Waikerie Oval as we currently speak. If you missed it, it was 5-5-35 Barmera Monash to the Renmark Rovers 3-6-26. Ben Lennon, your thoughts?
We've got plenty, mate. This is unbelievable scenes. What a game of footy, and people are going to look at this scoreboard when it gets posted on Facebook and whatnot, and they're going to see might have been a bit of a drab contest, but it couldn't be further from the truth, mate. That was entertaining from start to finish, and congratulations to the Roo boys, mate. What an achievement, and commiserations to Renmark, probably one of the better teams all year. But on the day, the Roos got it done.
Absolutely did. Nobby is on the bounce. We'll just listen to the official proceedings here going on this afternoon. We have Riverland Football League Commissioner Murray Kemp, the master of ceremony. Nobby Norton, you're in amongst the thick of it out there. What can you see? Oh, Nobby, we can't. It'd be great if Nobby Norton would turn towards us, but either way. Oh, Nobby, you've got... Yep, all good. Didn't want to get your small talk there. We might have revealed some secrets.
I was just having a quick chat to the sample guys down here. Oh, yeah. Couldn't believe that.
Never one to big note this, who you're chatting with, Nobby. No, Governor today, Sandford this afternoon.
Yeah, but...
Oh, no.
Thing, fellas, is a 5-goal to 3-goal game. I thought you'd get such a great grand final in just with that much scoreboard action.
Yep, certainly is. Look, presentation's about to get underway, Nobby, and then we're going to do all of our awards and everything else associated. We've got best on grounds to give out. We've got the young charger. We've got the hardest work. We've got the mark of the day for Grower Service Riverland. Goal of the day surf to suit Loxton. Certainly a lot to go on this afternoon. Nobby, we'll just ride with what's going to happen here.
Yep,
certainly no shortage of action.
I'm sort of thinking, fellas, that once all the presentations are over, I'll try and grab Fraser Sampson and have a chat to him after that.
Sounds good.
So we're just going to... here we go. We'll just take the feed here from the Riverland Football League.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a great day here at Waikerie. Thanks very much to the Waikerie Footy Club for putting on a good day. The weather's been magnificent. You couldn't ask for much more.
Yeah, it's too true there, Murray.
In the end, Barmera victorious over Renmark, in something which I think a lot of people will probably say is a bit of a surprise.
Oh. Yeah, see, I don't know about it.
Presentations underway.
The underdog thing, did you buy into it, Ben?
To an extent, but I mean, they hit form at the right time of year.
Most valuable player. Who have we got here?
On the ground, as judged by the umpires.
It's always an interesting choice here.
Monash, number 20, Michael Mott.
Yep, fair call.
Do you know what? He wore so many knocks, particularly in that first half, and just bounced back up.
The award is presented by Hayden Ward from West Adelaide Football
Fantastic
Club.
achievement for the co-captain. What a warrior he was in defence today.
This is the 5RM Riverland Football League Grand Final. Elects not to do the speech. We'll chat with him later.
And in another award, as adjudged, Best Player, the Murray Pioneer Best On Ground Award.
The big one.
Who have you got here, Ben?
Obviously
the big one.
Presented by the Taylor Group, and Ben Taylor coming up.
Handling those stairs well.
Another Barmera player, number 14, Sammy DeMichelle.
SDM.
Turned it on in the second half, Lockie. That was enough to win the hearts of the voters.
For the Murray Pioneer Best On Ground.
Nobby, your thoughts on that? A worthy recipient of that one, Nobby?
Certainly was, Lockie. And matter of fact, I just happened to brush shoulders with a sort of a gentleman. He's wearing an Imperials tank top, and he's about the same height as SDM. I reckon his surname might be DM as well.
Oh, here he is, Greg Backer, 5RM Sunday mornings. And 5RM General Manager as well, the man that lets us do this every week, which is phenomenal.
Thirsty Merc's number 1 supporter.
Number 1, Trent Ogle.
Yeah, look, a good performance from young Trent. Had a bit of a hard job today, Nobby, a bit of a tagging role.
Yep, and I can see his grandfather down here. I know them well. Good Maruk, good Kingston and Murray people.
Yeah, Ben Drugamala, really just one of the grunt men of the Barmera Monash side for a few years.
Real professional, I reckon. He just does it week in, week out.
Here he is, boys, the junkyard dog.
It's mean a fair bit to him, no doubt, Nobby.
Might see if I can get a word with him later. Jake's he's always smiling, you never know.
Number 7, Jordan Freeman.
Yeah, look, he put in a big game today. He's been a bit of a revelation in the last couple of seasons, Nobby, but certainly a worthy recipient of a premiership.
Fella Jordan Freeman, I reckon he played a heck of a game against probably the best ruckman in country South Australia.
Dan Wesley there. His pressure around the footy's been really good in the last couple of weeks. Really turned it on in the finals.
Yeah, just the Barmera side is collecting their premiership medallions. Yeah, came off, hobbled off the ground a little bit of late, but certainly in and amongst the action for a lot of today.
Yep. Wilden kicked the first goal of the game.
Yeah,
Wilden.
set the tone.
Yep,
must be said.
Number 13, Paul Spilios.
Yeah, look, he's been a real superstar in the latter part of this season, Ben, and just unearthed a
Number
real
14,
utility.
Sammy DeMichelle.
There he is, Murray Pioneer medalist, DeMichelle, big game player. When it counts, he's there. Third quarter, fourth quarter specialist. Phenomenal today.
Caught up with him this week.
Number 15.
Bumped into him at a coffee shop.
Co-captain
Said he was trying to get, just nursing a bit of a calf injury, he told me. Didn't throw that one out there today, though.
No, kept that close to your chest. How about Sammy Butterworth's year? State country
phenomenal.
Representative, podium finishing the Willis
Number
medal
16,
and now a premiership medal as
Aidan
well.
Hodgson.
Probably one of the biggest surprise packets this year, Hodgson. One of the youngest players running around out there today, but holds
Number
his own every
17,
week.
Dylan Millard.
Yeah, phenomenal effort, Dylan Millard. Barmera Monash player for years. Took a coaching role at Loxton Tigers.
Back home.
Come back to the Lakeside, picks up a premiership.
Only just making it up the stairs, pretty heavily strapped left
Number
leg.
19, Jamison Whitmore.
I don't want to put words in Dylan's mouth, but I'm not sure. That might have been it for A grade today.
Bit of a swan song.
Maybe. Probably not a bad way to go
Number
out, really.
20,
Oh, mate, absolutely.
best on ground and co-captain again, Michael Mock.
Yep, the MVP winner for today's game, Michael Mock.
Yeah, can't
Number
understate how
21,
much he's done this
Jack
year.
Albrecht.
He's been phenomenal. Albrecht as well has probably surprised me a little bit. He's a very, very valuable
Might
contributor.
go to Nobby for this one. Nobby, what junior club did young
Number
Albrecht play
22,
for?
Playing coach,
Hockey, but
Rosie Sampson.
has been at Barmera for quite some time.
Nobby, we just missed that club again. What club was he involved with as a junior?
The Warriors. There's a few more of them to come yet. You wait.
Frankie Sampson on stage now, shakes the hand of Greg Backer. Geez, if you'd told Frankie a year ago that he'd be standing up on top of that ute with a premiership medal, he would have bitten your hand off.
Well, Fraser Sampson's now a full-time premiership player.
Oh, true.
3 for the Rovers, 1 for the Roos. And Nobby, just going through the sums, he'd be one of a select few that have won a premiership at both those clubs, I would have thought.
I think maybe Glenn Millard might be another. Dylan's father.
But outside of that, that's probably it that you can think of.
At this stage, yep.
26, Mitch Wellington.
Yeah, look, he hasn't Barmera's side changed, Nobby, since he came back into the side later in the year.
Yeah, he gave him that tall forward option, and while he didn't kick a lot of goals, he certainly created a lot of forward momentum.
And number 30, Rich Lehman.
I thought he had a better game than he has been playing in recent times, and I think Wellington back next to Lehman sort of freed him up a bit and gave him a chance to get at the ball too.
It was actually pretty clean today as well. It was a lot of one grab stuff, which was a feature.
Invite the captains, Sam Butterworth and Michael Mock, back up to the stage here, along with Rosie Sampson, the coach.
So we're just going to get a bit of a presentation now from the Barmera Monash Roos. And
I think both these guys had great games. I thought Butterworth probably gets marked a fair bit harder. He would have had his 30 posies, but gets marked pretty hard. He doesn't get a point until he gets to 25.
The 2023 Premiership pennant, awarded to Barmera Monash Football Club.
Boys, just got a pat on the back from Elton Ogle, former Warriors captain, whose son Trent has just got his first medal.
There it is, Barmera Monash presented with the premiership flag, very well deserved. 3 boys up there at the moment, but get the feeling there's going to be a few more joining them soon.
yeah, all the Roos fans still here, Ben Lennon, and it must be said there's a lot of them here today.
Yep, travelled in force up the highway.
Here
There it is.
Stay there, whoop.
Murray.
Riverland Football League Commissioner Murray Kemp. Just, making
I think he was just checking the payload plate on that ute, fellas, to make sure it could handle it.
Just got a sip. It's going in the right.
It's a bit of a...
They got to get that ute back to someone this afternoon. Probably Nobby. That's probably someone's ride home.
I think it might be going via the mechanics for a new springs.
There it is. The Barmera Monash Roos celebrate the Premiership 2023. They are the victors. Last one, first one since 2012. A lot's happened in that time, Ben Lennon.
Yeah,
Captain, stay there, you guys.
trying times
And-
in recent years, but they've turned it around as a club. It's been really good.
The
Frank,
Roos,
stay up with Mocky and...
it's the first.
No.
The Roos.
I'd now like
Oh, hang
Mr.
on.
Aaron Turner.
The remix.
We'll
Mr.
just
Aaron
okay.
Turner to come up to the stage.
Oh, yep.
He's the grandson of Mr. Ike Francis, who donate the Perpetual Shield. So on behalf of the Ike Francis family, Mr. Aaron Turner presenting the Premiership Shield to the Barmera Monash Football Club.
Here it is, and everyone from the Roos still very much here and up and about. It's been a big day for the club. Picked up a couple of premierships earlier too in the junior grades, Ben.
Yeah, well, it all started here at the crack of dawn. Lockie with the 13s, kicking a goal after the siren, not a bad way to start, and another premiership in the 18s as well, knocking off Renmark, and same result in the A grade. So a huge day for the Lakesiders.
Certainly is. Look, a lot of people still here. Nobby Norton, you're closer to the celebrations we are, and just getting a little bit quiet for a second at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Look, I think for some of the players, it's taken a bit of time for it to sink in, fellas. They would have turned up today hoping they could just put on a good show, play their best, and maybe try and give Renmark a bit of a game. And lo and behold, they've come out on top with the cup.
They become the 7th side in Riverland Football League history to win the premiership from 3rd on the ladder. Nobby Norton.
Yeah, but they were second seed, Lockie, this week, so they've won it from second. But mind you, their seeding has improved from 5 all the way to now. They become the number 1 seed for next year.
To the RFL, thank you very much.
Fraser Sampson, coach Barmera Monash.
Another really, really good season. Thank you to all the sponsors that make it happen week in, week out. To the Waikerie Footy Club for putting on a great day. It takes a lot of effort to host a grand final, so thank you very much. To the Renmark Footy Club, we know you're a class act. We know what to expect from you every time, so thanks, and we know you'll be back again. To our boys and the Roo crew, we did it!
There it is. A fitting message.
Okay, that's...
Barmera Monash coach Fraser Sampson. Looks like we might be concluding proceedings pretty soon. I'll be just back to you for a second. Look, you're in amongst the action there. What are you seeing?
I'm going to see if I can get hold of Fraser Sampson.
Yep, just
Okay.
remember you've got to be able to see us
Yes.
if you are going to be using any
I'm just going to try and get hold of Fraser Sampson if I can prise him out of this euphoria.
Good luck, mate.
Certainly a lot of people still here at Waikerie, that's a given. Just recapping, if you're joining us for the first time, 5RM Riverland football. It's the Barmera Monash Roos that have won the premiership 35-26 from the Renmark Rovers. Look, we'll chat about the Rovers season in a minute, but just trying to pick up where Nobby might be at the moment, just in the middle there.
He's now a solidified member of the Roo crew by the looks. It's like the Roos are going for a bit of a team song here, and Grant Schwarzkopf in the middle doing his best work.
Yes, and the Roos singing the song. Yes, and of course we did find a little audio treat this week at work, Ben Lennon, which was the Barmera Monash song, which was on some old tape. That's how old it was. I mean, I'm not saying it was the last time it was played, but it certainly was a few years ago.
Got a new rendition to behold here, and don't they love it?
I certainly do. We're going to take a quick break here at 5RM Football. When we return, the full wrap-up. Back at the 2023 Riverland Football League Grand Final, it's a Premiership to the Barmera, Monash, Roos, Lockie Wendell, Ben Lennon and Nobby Norton this afternoon. Nobby Norton, you are alongside Premiership coach Fraser Sampson.
Yep, four-time Premiership player now, first-time Premiership coach for the Barmera Monash Roos. Fraser Sampson joins us here, fellas. Fraser, great result. I sort of looked at your season and you kind of built it on your defence. You didn't want to be, you wanted to be competitive right from the word go, and then gradually you just upped it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had a big focus on getting better defensively to start off with. I think we were coming from a fair way back as an A-grade side, so we certainly just had to work out ways to stay in games for as long as possible. So yeah, we built our defence really strong, and we were blessed with having some really good defenders that came into the squad this year, and then from there we sort of built the offensive game as well.
Yeah, and that was very noticeable, particularly in the last round and the final series. I mean, we'd often say, look, you're not going to get any more than 5 goals against Barmera, but we're not sure if they can kick 5. But you built that, and I think you showed today. I guess, what did you come here expecting today, first up?
Oh, we knew we were going to get a really strong contest from Renmark, because we know what a classy outfit they are. We knew that they were going to come physical. We knew what they want to do. They want to get the ball in their hands. They want to take it through the corridor. They want to handball the ball a lot. So yeah, we came with a bit of a plan to try and shut that down as much as we could, and I thought for most of the game we did that pretty well.
Yeah, I think you did. I think your tackling pressure was second to none I've seen in the competition all year, and I thought the pressure your forwards and your centre-line players put on their half-back line to stop that rebound was pretty important.
Yeah, absolutely. Our half-back's got a fair bit of the credit throughout the year for intercepting a lot, but I mean, you can only intercept if there's pressure on the ball. So guys like Matty Wilden, Dan Wesley, Max Petrole, Reece Lehman, these sort of guys were pretty consistently in our forward line, and they had a big job just to put pressure on and bring the ball to ground and try to lock it in there as much as possible. So yeah, we weren't the highest scoring team, but we had to work out a way to win, and I thought we did that.
But you were the meanest team to play against. You just absolutely gave up the less points. Hey, I know you're not going to be one to throw out players' names, so I'm going to ask you about a couple of guys that we noticed, and I think it was a pretty classical game where you go through your side and just about everyone did something, had a go and did things. I thought Freeman was excellent against the big fella, Big Harry, because Harry's probably the best ruckman in country South Australia.
Yeah, Geordie's had a great year. He's come a long way. At the start of the year, hadn't done much ruck work at all, and we need him to do a job. We just weren't blessed with as much height this year, and we couldn't. We didn't have a big first ruck in the side, so he had to do a big job, and he learnt a lot throughout the year. And I thought when he goes forward, he's really dangerous because he's very mobile. But in the ruck, he's really come a long way with being able to learn how to use his body and nullify the other dominant rucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought he stretched Gartery a bit. He kept running him around early, and you were hoping that that was going to take its toll in the second half on a nice hot day like today.
Yeah, definitely. And he had Mitch Wellington, who's come into the side over the last 4 to 5 weeks, and they were able to split the ruck 50-50. And Gartery, we know, does probably the majority there. So being able to sort of split it between them and try and work him over was certainly something we look towards.
You actually answered my next question almost. Wellington coming back into the side and giving you that extra help in ruck, the forward presence. And today we saw him going forward. And while he didn't kick any goals, and he hasn't kicked a lot of goals, he's created opportunities. And I reckon he's allowed Reece Lehman, to get a little bit of off the leash a bit, because he was really the only one up there. And his hands were beautiful today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Willie draws a crowd. He usually takes the best defender, which, you're right, helped Reece out a lot. And Willie's got a lot of X factor. He's great at ground level. In the contest, he's really clean. So we've loved what he's brought, and we've been really keen to get him in the team. Unfortunately, he's battled with injury for not just this year, but probably the last 5 to 6 years. He's really battled with his body. But I think this year's probably been the most consistent season he's had in terms of being out in the park.
Yeah, and I reckon the other thing you really matched him in today was in the middle, because they can be dynamite. And we saw the first couple of contests, and we saw Josh Vader hit that ball at 100 mile an hour, go forward. They didn't kick a goal, and I thought, hello, here we go again. What's going to happen here? But all of a sudden we saw players like Druggamulla and the junkyard dog Jake Smith get in there and arm wrestle them all to the ground. And I think That's what I'm saying. The commitment was across the ground.
Oh, absolutely. We knew we had to do that. We had guys doing some rolls through the middle that just had to try to nullify, and we weren't out there to try and win the clearances. We knew that that's their dominant area, but they absolutely smashed us last time at Barmera. So we just wanted to go out there and halve the contest in terms of the clearances, and we were really confident that if we could halve the contest, we could get them around the ground.
Yeah, and you did that. And I thought a lot of the other younger fellas stepped up, like young Ogle, and you had I thought Spiller's second half was good. You know, like he was always at it. And then we looked at SDM. Well, he ends up getting best on ground, but it was because of the effect he had in that last quarter and perhaps the last half of the third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a big game player, Sonny, and you're right, he normally hits the scoreboard to do his damage, but I thought today he really seized the moment and he just moved himself into the middle, and he moved himself across half-back at the end there to take some really crucial marks. So he's a smart player, he's a really important player, and he was really important in that last quarter.
Well, mate, I won't hold you away from the celebrations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
for
much.
Your season, and
Cheers.
I think you've just shown other clubs. I mean, we all like Renmark and the way they play footy, and you know how they play. You've been there part of it for 3 years. But I think you just showed every other club in the Riverland, if you want to be competitive, work on your game for the whole year, get your fitness up, and have a bit of belief.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
for that,
mate.
guys.
Cheers.
Nobby, your work, as always, excellent. It must be said, we still have a bit to recap and celebrate here at the Riverland Football League 2023 Grand Final. Nobby, I guess we'll see you in the box pretty soon.
Do you want me to get hold of the junkyard dog, or have you had enough,
may
fellas?
as well. Look, we've got to do our awards soon, but Nobby, we might do them maybe tonight at the lakeside. I've got to tell you about that in a minute. But
I'll see if I can find him.
Yeah,
all right?
find Jake Smith for us. Ben, we're not going to do our awards now, but we're just going to recap who might be in the mix for a few of them. Look, the goal of the day for Surf to Suit Loxton. Look, for me, these aren't the awards, just in the mix. I think Druggermuller's goal in the first quarter from Barmera Monash was, I guess, a result from a lot of efforts from a lot of people in the team, and it was quite spectacular. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's actually not a whole lot to pick from today, of all days, in the grand final. But, there was a couple, like, even Wesley's I look at in the last quarter, that was bang in front, 25 metres out, so there's no bells and whistles in it. But, you know, that for a young guy to step up at that time in the game in the last quarter, to kick to seal the game essentially for the Roos, that was a massive moment. So not the flashiest of goals, but definitely really impressive medal from the youngster.
We're just seeing Nobby work through the sea of double blue here at Waikerie this afternoon. Joining us for the first time today, it's the Waikerie Magpies have hosted a great grand final, and they've also won the reserves, but it's the Barmera Monash Roos that have won the 2023 grand final. They defeated the Renmark Rovers, who are in their 5th straight grand final. They won 3 of those, Ben. It's certainly a phenomenal side this season. Minor premiers. The Roos finished 3rd. Copped a bit of criticism for maybe playing some questionable defensive footy, but it doesn't really matter now. Nobby Norton, you've found Jake Smith, the junkyard dog, the initial winner of the 5RM Sports Saturday medal.
Yeah, I have, Lockie, and you know how he's one of my favourite players. Well, he's now one of the Barmera Monash favourite players, or he always has been. Hey, Jake, what a win.
It was an absolute, I'm gobsmacked. So, we put in the hard work, and we grinded all year and come home strong, and all efforts to Renmark. They've been right at the top there, want to be a part of, trying to beat them. So we got it.
I had a chat to Frankie, and we worked through a few things, but I've been saving up for you because I've watched you. I saw you against Waikerie, saw you again last week when I was down near the boundary line, and you haven't done anything but smile. Are you just loving this, or what? Just the contest?
I actually had a dream about 3-4 weeks ago, just before finals, and it was us on that back of that ute holding a cup. So, had an epiphany, and it came true.
So you were believing all along?
Yeah, I'm a believer.
Yeah, so. Good man.
Nobby Norton, can you ask? I saw Jake in the off-season before Fraser Sampson had been appointed, and he said, I might just have a kick in the twos. We'll see how we go.
Lockie wants to know, he said he saw you early in the season.
Off-season.
He said all you wanted to do was have a kick in the twos.
And then did Fraser got appointed, and then you told me this, Jake.
And then
I'm
once
not lying.
Fraser was appointed, you thought, well, I'm going to give it a go and back him in.
Yeah, the vibe around the club, what Fraser's brought to the club, how everyone's rallied around us, and the culture that's built on this year has been absolutely sensational.
It's a cracking year when you consider you started the year just trying to be competitive. No one kicked any scores against you. 5 goals was a big score against Barmera Monash, but you had trouble scoring yourself. and then gradually you just kept lifting it and lifting it and lifting it. And today, well, you had to kick 5 to beat you, and no one could. So well done. And I did notice that I thought today all day, and you were in there with a whole heap of helpers like Ben Drugamiller and others, putting the pressure on the ball just to stop them from getting it out of the middle. Was that what you were sent in to do, mate, today? Just break even in the contest?
Pretty much there. If we didn't win in the middle, that's their biggest strength, Renmark, and you got your Timmy Walfords, Vader. They're tough to beat. And if we could just lock down and really grind against them and try and work our way through the middle and try and shut them down, that was where we're going to win the game.
How'd you feel after Vader burst out of the after the first bounce? And you think, hang on, here it goes again?
I was just like gobsmacked. I've gone higher out. We got some work to do today, but it panned out. We didn't have to work quite as hard for that.
Oh, look, I thought, it's like every team, when you see a team win the grand final, you go through the list and just about everyone did a bit, and it's always the case. Renmark, I think you had them under pressure early with your tackling. I thought your tackling was excellent. Pressure on the ball, pressure by your attack against their defenders to not give them any ball out, and it was just a build-up all game, and you put a couple of goals on.
Yeah. No, it's still like it's a surreal feeling. Just for the record, I'd also like to reiterate to Lockie up there and you, Trev, that Justin Bonney played in that 2012 Premiership.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We corrected that today.
We corrected that
today. And it got me thinking, you boys must have watched that footage pretty closely, because we only mentioned that, I think, once.
He reckons you must have watched the footage really closely because we only said it once. Don't worry.
Might have been a couple of times.
Yeah, well,
did you ever have a kick for the Warriors, or was it just your brother Tom?
I filled in one game for Shane Uren in the Colts.
There we go, another Warrior, fellas.
I think I snagged 4 goals and we beat Lyric by about 140-something points. So
there you go, fellas, another Warrior. Okay, there was about half a dozen of them out there today, so look out.
Thank you, Nobby. Maybe we can stop past Maruk Kingston on the way home, Nobby, and maybe just soak it all in.
I'm just looking underneath. I think there's a green and gold stripe on the backside. When they turn them inside out and play each other at training and have a forwards and backs, the backs wear Woodville, wear Maruk Kingston colours.
Those unaware are now a defunct footy club, sadly. Nobby Norton,
Okay,
Jake.
thanks, Jake.
Great.
Congratulations. Well done, mate.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Thanks, Jake. This is 5RM, the Riverland Football League Grand Final. It's the Barmera Monash Roos that have won it. Trev, Nobby Norton, we'll see you in the studio here at Waikerie pretty soon because we've got our awards to give out. Just recapping, if you're joining us for the first time today, it's the Barmera Monash Roos that have won. It was a close and tight grand final. We'll unpack all of our awards, go through all the junior results right after this. It's Fleetwood Mac here at 5RM.